Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Umzansi Esports League. This is Season 3, brought to you by Nodwing Gaming. I am Dr. Sid, and I'm here with two amazing gentlemen, Snare and Thendo, and we are bringing you all the action from the hottest thing in the esports on the African continent. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Let's take a very quick look at the schedule for today. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Starting off is the first thing, and starting in the next 4 to 5 minutes is the first match between DarthMayhem and Mobizilla in the FIFA 21 segment. It's going to be lit. Next, we're going to move on to the PUBG Mobile segment, which is going to have 3 matches on Erangel and Sandhawk, and then Miramar. It is going to be hard because this is the final matches for people to qualify for the next phase of the PUBG Mobile segment. But right now, first, we're starting off with the game between DarthMayhem and Mobizilla. Now, what are all these players playing for? They are playing for the amazing Season 3 prize pool, which sits at an amazing $17,500 with $2,500 for the FIFA 21 segment and $15,000 for the PUBG Mobile segment. So you know that the prize money is a heavy guap, and the players have to play their hearts out to get their share of this prize pool. Once again, coming close to what we're doing right now in the next few minutes is the FIFA 21 match between DarthMayhem and Mobizilla. Snare, what are we expecting from these two guys, knowing what's happening in the past and what we're expecting today?
Unfortunately for DarthMayhem, Mobizilla is someone who's been finding his stride of late. This is a person who has competed at the highest level of FIFA for a very long time. Had a bit of a shaky start to the competition, but as time has been going on here in Season 3 of the Umzansi Esports League, Mobizilla has been firing on all cylinders, and DarthMayhem, conversely, has been finding himself struggling more and more, and time has been going on. So he's going to really have his work cut out for him here today. He's already in a situation where he's guaranteed relegation, but Moby might be able to, with 2 games in hand, maybe get himself into the top 4, so he needs this victory.
So looking at that table, obviously, and I want to get your views on this. What did these two players have to do? Obviously, we know that Mobizilla needs to get points on the board. What exactly are we expecting from this match?
So yesterday, before we ended off, I was kind of throwing a wild card when we were chatting in between that. Today, I feel like Darth is just going to fire at all cylinders just to kind of have this effort to kind of prove himself as maybe he's not going to get out. Well, not even maybe. I don't think it's going to be really possible for him to even get out of the relegation spot at this point. He's just playing for some pride. So maybe tonight's the night where he just tries his best to show everybody that, hey, that season, maybe he has a bit of a come around. But for Moby, it's tough, man. It's tough. I mean, you look at where Savage is situated right now. Savage still has, the same amount of games as Moby in this situation, 2 games to play. And you can't count on Savage losing his games for you to stay in this one. So it's going to be a little bit tough as he needs to keep, moving up the leaderboard to get into the 4th position, to get into that playoff spot. But now you have to rely on Savage losing a game, and now you have to face Darth, who, yes, Darth, right? Like, you have a bit of an opportunity to work off that, but like I said, you never know what these bottom of the leaderboard players are ready to pull out on the day,
And that's the thing. DarthMayhem could just be a wounded lion right now, or a snake that's been chopped on the head is still on, and just go for that final bite and mess up the entire table and mess up some people's chances. He's in a unique position to make things very, very difficult for Mobizilla. I'm going to say very quickly before the match starts off, I want to get your predictions for today. I'm loving this prediction aspects because, we've had some close calls, some very direct on-the-nose calls. I don't think either of us has, not gotten something right. But, Snare, what's your prediction for today?
I'm just thinking the play style that we have from both of the gentlemen today, and given that Moby's not the highest scoring player in general, and that DarthMayhem has been getting a bit better on the defense, I'll say 5-1, 5-2. Let's go 5-2. Let's go 5-2 in favor.
5-2, 5-2. Yeah. Okay, 2 goals to DarthMayhem. Tendo, what are you saying?
Yeah, I think you look at Bobo and you look at Darth. I think it's interesting that both those players bottom of the leaderboard, but they have 2 very explosive play styles. So Look, I can't go with Snare. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go with Darth. He's gonna come out as a wonder kid out of nowhere here. It's gonna be 3-2 in favor of Darth on aggregate. Yeah, I think Moby's gonna crumble to some pressure today because it's like a do or die situation, and sometimes that just gets to your head, no matter how good you can be over your opponent.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about it being a do or die situation. Because if Mobizilla doesn't win this game, unless he wins his next match with at least 20 goals, he doesn't have an opportunity. He doesn't have an opportunity to make it into the top four. This is the permutation and the mathematics that goes on now. You know what? This is the hardest part of the tournament because right now you have to keep bringing out your pens and papers and saying, "But what if he does this and does that, and then what if in perpetuity?" It's just all crazy, my friends. So we've had predictions: 5-2 to Mobizilla from Snare, 3-2 to DarthMayhem from Tendo.
And what do you say?
Are we ready for kickoff? I'm gonna have to go with Snare though. I think it's gonna be a dropping. It's gonna be a massacre. Mobizilla is gonna come out understanding.
Yeah, the problem is it can be a massacre. Just based on like the goal difference, it really could just be a massacre.
From DarthMayhem.
I believe.
All right,
guys.
the game's begun. I'm gonna leave you guys to it, and I will see you right after the match.
Thank you, Dr. Sid. So, Mr. Tendo, let's see whether or not your prediction will come out. We need DarthMayhem to pull through something legitimately special, right? If you're gonna come out aces here on this one. And Moby, like Dr. Sid was mentioning, this for him represents a chance not just to win the match, but to actually give himself a realistic shot of getting into the playoffs. So that pressure is going to be weighing in on the back of his mind. Nothing to play for DarthMayhem. You've already said you think Darth is going to do it. Who's going to score the first goal, though? That's going to be a question to ask you here.
Pressure's looking really good here. Son gets a really good ball in here. Back to Kane! The shot goes flying, but doesn't find the net at all. Accuracy just not on there. And yeah, I think it's going to be Moby. I think Moby's here to play. Definitely looking very explosive off the plays and the opportunities that he's getting, trying to weave through the defense. So I think, yes, Moby's going to score here. But here's Neymar on the attack, and it's going to be a shot just in front of a defender, though.
I really thought that was going to be the shot that actually ends up going through. Ends up not being the case. Game still going to be quiet. No opening goal just yet. The big thing as well for Moby here is he knows that he has a better chance. Once he's able to break through, we've already seen that DarthMayhem tends to crumble a little bit after he's let through some goals. So it's more important for him to score first than it is for Moby. Right now, still being kept to a clean sheet. Gonna try for another attack here. Ben, I think isn't he the only one that's still using Ben Yedder? Not as a knock on him, but just like trying to think through decisions made by different players. I think everybody else dropped him after having him in the opening weeks.
Yeah, maybe it's just falling back to comfortability. When you're someone like Darth, it's kind of difficult to say, let's be experimental and work with what maybe we're not used to. But it's looking a little bit tough because the defense is looking a little bit jagged. Yeah. Oh, what happened there? Was that a pass? Was that a cross? Was that a shot? Who even knows? Moby stumbling a little bit there. Maybe a little bit of the pressure's getting to him. But now, will the play here from Darth? Darth's going to get a good pass in here. And there's a little bit of room to work with. Oh my goodness, he's still in here!
Oh my gosh. Are you actually kidding me? That is the worst luck possible if you are DarthMayhem right there. Twice in a row, he was in on goal, couldn't get the shot through. Now suddenly he has to try and play this one out because he has to deal with this attack. Kane on the edge of the box trying to get the ball back in. Doesn't find Messi, but Messi dispossesses the defender. Might still find this opening goal. Playing things slowly, but very, very surely. Theo, though, gets in front of the pass from Jesus Navas. That's going to be really awful for DarthMayhem's confidence, right? Because he should be feeling to himself, man, I should be one goal up. Instead, now, almost one goal down, but still having to deal with another corner.
Yo, man, these set pieces have just been... Oh, he actually scores it so... Oh my goodness. The first shot rattles off the pole. Again, the 12th man looked like he was going to be say something, but no, it comes back into playing, and he's able to finish it. Moby recovers, pulling ahead now with a header.
Oh man,
honestly.
that is not what Darth needed in that situation. Ruben Diaz comes off his line from the defense, scores that early goal. And we see DarthMayhem trying his best right now to score one in the opposite direction. He gets the forward run and it looked decent. Neymar. We saw a very similar goal from Neymar yesterday. Doesn't end up happening this time around, but at the very least, it does seem that DarthMayhem not fully rattled just yet by this goal happening, even though he's definitely going to be affected in terms of his performance going forward.
Yeah, and Darth just like pulls players away from the defensive line. If you're watching him, then you can just see that's what Moby's capitalizing off, because he's always finding like these open spaces where it just seems like there's no players there covering the spot. Neymar on a great run here for Darth. Is this it for him to come back? But no. Fortunately, it's going to go out for a corner. Corner comes in, flying, just like the one that scored, but unfortunately, there's not going to be a goal here for Darth. Darth now needs to work from a throw-in. Throw-in comes in. He's going to find Neymar. Neymar looking good, gets through, finds a pass, but no, there's a defender on the opposite side, so still nothing here for Darth.
Was looking for the perfect opportunity to get off the shot. Unfortunately, the opportunity did not come. Gets muscled off the ball. Now has to deal with this lead potentially being doubled as we get the ball into Son, into the back of the net. But all right, some luck here for DarthMayhem. You know, had to deal with the 12th man getting involved earlier, but at the very least, it's not 2-0 just yet. Offside flag saves him for now.
Yeah, just for now. Very heavy tackle coming in from Moby in a dangerous area for Darth to maybe work and build up something here. Defense, though, is like a brick wall in front of him. Mataldo almost looked like he found a way through there for Darth, but unfortunately the wall was there to stop him. And there's a great run here, and this is what I'm talking about. The players is not in spaces that are dangerous. When you have Messi on the opposite end and he finds those kind of plays, it's going to have to be pulled back, though. Young's on it. Young, Vaved's in with a shot, but no. The wall's there at least. Kane, though, still has a pass. Yeah, still not done. He's just going at him over and over and over again, but there's a turnover play that's snuffed out.
And actually, there was a small sliver of a chance there, but unfortunately, I think he ran over the ball a little bit more than he thought he would on DarthMayhem's side, so ends up giving up the possession back yet again in the final third. And like you say, he's moving around his defensive line quite a lot, so there's a lot of space for these passes to happen. It means there's a lot more pressure for him to actually go for aggressive tackles rather than relying on just closing out the space or just interceptions. At the same time, though, it does give him a bit more freedom to make runs like this, where Mbappe in on space on the flank. Can he get the ball into the middle of the box? He's been here several times, but just has been unable to break through the defense. Ben Yedder on the ball. Ben Yedder muscled off of it. Cannot create an attacking threat. So we stay at 1-0 in favor for Mobizilla.
Tiny man gets muscled off the ball. Hate to see it. And Messi, tinier man on the opposite end, making bigger strides though. But unfortunately, the ball goes out. It's going to be a corner now for Moby. Finds a defender. Atal's going to be able to clear it, but for how long? As the half's actually going to ring and rattle off. And so far, so good, I'd say, for Darth, considering how his season has been going, right? So, yeah, I mean, look, usually by now, maybe we're on a 5-goal thriller. All of a sudden, you and I are going crazy. Like, no ways, I can't believe. So he's holding on, to Moby. I think they, giving, where they're on the table, it makes sense, right? They're been struggling on both ends, and you can see it's a bit of a level match so far. It's just, I think Moby's just a little bit more of the edge right now.
And it's probably one of the better matchups that Darth could find himself going against someone who is not very high scoring in general, given, like you said, the fact that he's been dealing with 5, 6, 7, 8-0 losses up until this point. For now, things are still relatively stable for him because there's still opportunity to get through like this and find a goal. What a play from DarthMayhem. Neymar, the hero of the hour, pulls through, doesn't just get the goal, but brings him back on level. And we are now, if nothing changes, looking at DarthMayhem getting his first point in the Umzansi Esports League.
Yo, man, first point towards the end of the season. Man, it's really rough, but you gotta just keep coming back. You know what I mean? You gotta take experience and work from it and keep building and building and building. And Here's a build-up play looking big on the side of Moby, but the defenders are there to cover that one. And now it looks like Darth's trying to make a play, but no, it's intercepted. So now it's going to be Moby back on the attack. Finds a really nice player. Get in the box here. Dribbling. No madness. Kane turns around. Takes a shot. Oh my gosh.
Damn. Harry Kane shows up big there for Mobizilla. Gets the ball in a position where he doesn't actually have that much time to work with it, but immediately on the turn with the volley, gets the goal. Hopefully that doesn't end up happening tonight, but it happens here in the game of FIFA. 2-1 Mobizilla. Damn, what a goal. That was amazing.
Your prediction to the Euro tonight?
2-1 Italy. My boy Jorginho is going to bring it home for Chelsea.
So you don't want it to come home to England,
Hey man, nope. You know, England must suffer. I don't actually want. Basically, I can't stand England fans online. So, for the sake of peace and safety and no beef on the timeline, I gotta have England lose tonight.
Yeah, man. Can you imagine Twitter if England wins? But I want England to win. But back to the game. It's Moby. There's been a bit of attacks from both sides in our quick little discussion, and now Darth has an opportunity to work with a ball here that he's found. Neymar's been such a pivotal player for him so far to try to create some opportunities, but there, unfortunately, the opportunity isn't really going to come for him. And a little bit of pressure, able to get the ball out here. So now there's a throw in again for Darth. So maybe he can work off this. So it's Mbappe playing the ball in. Now Neymar's in a dangerous spot. Maybe a shot can come in, but no. Defense is there, cool, calm, collected, ready to play.
Darth has been finding a lot of good opportunities with these runs from Neymar, and it feels like it's only a matter of time before one of them is successful yet again. I don't think he's been dealing with it that well, except in the final interception, but now what a pass, back into the middle of the box. Harry Kane finds the brace. What a run, they could not track him. And look how many players that he just had forward here. The opportunities to lay off that ball from Jesus Navas pretty much could have been everyone. But this time around, it's Kane yet again. 2-0 up, or to a brace from him rather, to put him 2 goals up. And it's a 3-1 lead. And Moby's starting to get going here. And generally what we've been seeing throughout the league, Tendo, is that whenever he starts to have these goals scored against him, DarthMayhem starts to crumble on the defense. And I wonder, is that going to start happening in this game as well?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're just missing a little bit of apple. You know, slap it in the oven, get some apple crumble going on. But hopefully he can recover and find a couple of goals in here to stay in this and keep it competitive. Because, yeah, I mean, right, man, every time he just gets 1 or 2 in, he just starts to crumble and starts to play silly. And that's really what's been costing him this whole season. And you keep bringing up that Moby's not a high-scoring player. And if you get scored a lot by a low-scoring player, what does that have to say about you, right? Oh, man, it's just tough. It's really tough. But Darth, now maybe something can work from here, but there's so many players behind. He can't do anything there with Neymar.
A little bit of franticness coming in from him as he's trying to go for this defense. Like you mentioned earlier, his defenders moving around, not really tracking the space. Almost let a 4th goal through. Courtois was the hero this time around, keeping this in somewhat reachable territory with only a 2-goal advantage. But he needs a goal, he needs it soon, or at the very least, he needs to make sure that Moby cannot get another. And the thing is, now Moby seems to be figuring out exactly how to deal with Neymar well before he's even in the position to go for that additional touch for the run. He can't get the ball there, and at the same time, space opened up. Bruno Fernandes finds the pocket as the defenders track away and almost walked that goal in here, Tendo.
I swear, if Darth finishes the season with a negative 40 goal difference, I don't even know. Yes, Darth, yes, go. Neymar's in with a shot, and no, it's the keeper. Then, final line of defense. Neymar's back though. Maybe a little bit of action, but no, it's gonna be the Moby story. Moby gonna play this ball in, and it's a really good one. Son's on it. Son with some pace, some dribbling as well, can maybe find the pass in to work. So now in Valverde, trying to make some space here. Moby's in deep. It's Chilwell pulling it back. But now the defensive line of Darth is starting to stabilize. He's starting to read the play a little bit better. But for how long? As Son's in, Son finds Kane. Kane being such troublesome so far. But not enough. Not enough. He can hold on.
Yeah, Varane shows up right on clutch. Unfortunately, though, for DarthMayhem, you can't actually get the ball away from the danger area. Son back in the box. Can't get the deeper run. He gets forced off the ball, but still in dangerous territory. And every time DarthMayhem tries to clear his lines, it somehow finds its way into the feet of Moby. This is quite dangerous, given how few chances he needs to find this goal. Son gets the ball to Bruno Fernandes, who gets the shot, but misses.
How did he miss that? That looks so
Thanks
good.
Goodness that Bruno Fernandes' shooting ability in this game is exactly the same as in real life. Thank God. Otherwise, it would have just been a problem right now.
Yeah, he would have just put the nail in the coffin, buried it. Oh, he's in! He's not in. Neymar misses the final shot, and that would have been good to really, start to form the comeback, I think.
Yeah.
For Darth.
That would have been great, not just for the goal itself, but for his confidence, right? Like, these last couple of goals that just happened in this game, especially goals number 3 and number 4, you cannot be feeling good about this if you're DarthMayhem, right? Because those aren't just goals where it's your opponent playing really, really well, right? But it's obvious places where he's exploiting gaps in your movement on the pitch, gaps in your defense, goals that really shouldn't be happening at this level of FIFA. But nonetheless, Moby's finding that space. And like you said in the matchup, he's generally a low-scoring player. So your DarthMayhem, you know that I think the highest Moby's ever scored so far in this competition has been 5 goals. He's already at 4 here, Tendo. What do you do if you're DarthMayhem here?
It's so tough because what can you do, right? It's like, it's a little bit more of a different storyline when you look at like Moby, right? If you look at the development through the season, started off really badly, started to work, develop, build, change things. And you can kind of see like someone that is putting in effort to try and improve themselves a little bit, you know what I'm talking about? I think you can also, attribute that to Bobo as well. It's not like there's a giving up mentality. I don't want to say that Darth has a giving up mentality, but definitely as soon as one goal is past the net, things start to crumble. And maybe that's what he needs to solve first, come into the second leg and yeah, man, you just got to fight at this point. You got to fight and fix your mistakes. Because it doesn't feel like he wants to fix the mistakes, really, with the way he's playing. It just feels like the same kind of goals are being rehashed. And it just seems like a broken record of just like...
Well,
almost 40 goals in goal difference. Like,
hold on, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Listen. We just saw the scoreline now. It's 4-1, right? So if we take the 3 goal deficit,
he still has another game to play before the season ends as well.
It's fine. He's not gonna get to minus 40, Tendo. Have some faith in DarthMayhem. Listen, DarthMayhem still was able to prove that he's better than 99.9% of players in FIFA players in the country.
Yeah,
on the
100%,
continent.
100%.
He's still in the Umzansi Esports League. He's still out here. He might have to play out for relegation to try and maintain his spot. But nonetheless, he's shown, I think the big lesson from DarthMayhem isn't just that what he needs to do to fix things up. But between him and Bobo Beast, what we've actually been seeing is just how good everybody else has gotten over the last couple of weeks, over the last few seasons. So the level of competition is much higher than it used to be. DarthMayhem, unfortunately, suffering because of it, but now still has an opportunity to redeem himself. All the goals scored in the first half, in the first game, he can still score them back. He can still find a point here. Just 3 goals, Sendo. As we go into leg 2, and he finds himself on the ball, but that's next level offside, a few years away from being onside on that one, so still will stay 0-0 in leg 2.
All right. Let's hope that we see a little bit more of improvements coming in from Darth. And so far it's looking dangerous again. Moby opening up the space, finding the space to work with, but a bit of a haywire pass there. But no, he's there to re-intercept the ball. Kane's in a dangerous spot, but dealt with very quickly. And that's what I'm talking about. You gotta identify, where the leaks are. And a big leak right now is definitely Kane for Darth. And it's just like finding a way to close him down, finding a way to work around. But this lob pass is looking good, but not good enough as the defender's there to keep up with the pace of the attacker and reset the ball. So now it's still 0-0, 10 minutes in. Kane on it. Kane with a threaded pass here, but it's offside.
Ooh, offside. Oh, so far, we've actually had a lot of searching balls in this game, trying to find a man in on the far side of the defense. None of them have panned out just yet, but a little bit of intent from, at the very least, DarthMayhem. I feel like he's just trying this out from Mobizilla. He's under no pressure, so any given style of play that he wants to adopt is perfectly acceptable for him. Playing slowly now, getting the ball up into Kane, who finds it into the box here. Can he find another man? Ben Chilwell can't track the pass back, but Kane still on the other side of it, despite it bouncing off of a defender. This attack not over. Valverde gets past his man, trying to find the ball into the box. He gets it there, but Courtois lunges out with the fist and will keep this 0-0 for leg number 2.
Still a lot of work to be done from Darth. Looking good so far. The defense is starting to improve. Not Neymar, Mbappe. Now to Neymar. Neymar takes a shot. Defender's there though. So Mbappe collects the ball but loses it very quickly. So now we can get a restart play here from the side of Moby, who's been looking dangerous in that box so far. So if he gets another opportunity, we well might see a goal come in. And it's going to be slow. It's going to be steady for now as he works his way back in. Now a little bit of more pace. Kane with these passes so far have been so good. He's just finding these threaded passes through the defense, man.
This is actually a little bit ridiculous right now. The incisiveness of these passes doesn't lead to a goal, but does earn a corner kick. We'll see, like, as time goes on in this game, which one of those passes will eventually get through. But another searching ball to find Neymar, and it's onside. But the goal goes wide. Oh my gosh, that would have been the most spectacular goal if DarthMayhem had managed to score it.
Yeah, it's interesting because the playstyle definitely has changed from Darth. It's him focusing more on holding the defense and keeping his defensive line, structured, and looking more for these lob balls and these, searching balls that you were mentioning a little bit earlier. And it makes sense. You got Mbappe, you got, Neymar up front. They've got pace. They can run some defenders down. So maybe that's just like the key play that he needs to work with. But Messi looking dangerous on the wing. Maybe he can find something here for Moby. So far, it's been pretty quiet, including how that first game went. Messi in, but the defense is good. The defense is there. And is he going to get another ball where he's going to be searching for somebody up the top, looking wide? It's actually going to be Mbappe. Mbappe's in. Oh, what a tackle.
That was, all right. That was top-notch stuff coming in there from Moby with that tackle. Clears his lines. And I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far from DarthMayhem in this second leg. He's not crumbling really, but the more important thing that I've been seeing from him is the way he's been defending. Hasn't been leaving nearly as many gaps in behind on the defense, and we see it's been affecting Moby's ability to make these runs that were in the first game. For example, he didn't need to find these super clutch passes with Kane. When they would come, it would be great, but it wasn't a requirement. In this one, it feels like just being able to run into space is not really going to be possible for him anymore. So he needs to do something special. Gets the ball now on the very far edge to Jesus Navas. Can he find a way through? But look at DarthMayhem. Tracks back, keeps his composure, goes for a very aggressive tackle, and he's going to draw the free kick, but it's better than allowing the player to just run freely in that part of the pitch.
Yeah, I think Moby fancies this one. So we're going to see a crazy of a crack of a shot here, and it's coming in big! Oh! Hey, that was looking like it was gonna be a spectacular free kick, but we can reset. Darth can breathe a tiny little bit, and it's a great threaded pass in here. Can he get a goal?
Hey.
It's a curler. Oh, that's beautiful coming in. And it's Ben. You've been talking down on him, and here he is showing up on the pitch.
Hey, remember, I didn't talk down on him. I said I was wondering why. I was questioning what the rationale was, and we finally get to see it. His rationale is that Ben Yedder, one of the players with a very high attacking positioning in the game, so when you can find these kind of passes, you can find these kind of balls, Ben Yedder will be in the correct position. As we see, he attempted to go for the ball again. Ben Yedder was tracked on the defense, prevented from getting that forward run. But with this one goal, it's now shaved the deficit to 2 goals. He can make that happen, but he has to prevent Son from scoring. But Son will not need any prevention. He'll just miss all on himself.
So the problem here is, let's say that keeps happening to Moby, which it looks like it's happening. He just isn't finding the back of the net in terms of just like accuracy as well. The shots that have come through from the attacks. And all of a sudden, Darth gained some confidence right now, you know, especially looking at the score line is in this leg. He's in the lead. He can work off the momentum. And all of a sudden, it doesn't need to be even Darth winning this game. It's a draw. All of a sudden, it's a draw. And it's just the world is crumbling in front of Moby. So now Moby needs to just calm down. And I think he needs to find this first goal in this fixture just to get that cushion. But I mean, all the possession is in basically his side at this point, if you look at it.
I mean, he is quite favored in terms of how things are looking in the matchup. The big thing for him, though, I think, is even though you're behind right now, this one goal has happened. Like you mentioned, 2 goals not really the nicest cushion, but his confidence, right? We have seen Moby that early on in the league, the thing that he was struggling with the most was his confidence and the finishing, right? And once he started getting his confidence back, the finishing started to improve. What's also happen if we slide in the opposite direction again, especially considering the stakes of the game? I mean, you were talking about it before we even got going with this matchup. The stakes for him might be so high that he can't carry the weight. So the next 45 minutes, a single leg remaining, there's a lot for him to do, but the most important thing, he cannot crumble. And let's see, here we go. The final half between Mobizilla and DarthMayhem. DarthMayhem guaranteed to have to fight in relegation, but Moby still has a chance at the playoffs as long as nothing changes. But it does not look like Mobizilla is going to be playing against an opponent who's going to let him walk all over him, because the fight is back from DarthMayhem. Oh, I say that just as, okay, never mind. The fight's gone.
Oh my
never mind. The fight might be gone. That goal, all right, explain to us how that goal happened. Out of where? Where did Son come from?
I think link-up play was really, really well done there from Moby. He was finding the passes. I think Darth just wasn't ready from the start of the reset, and I think that's exactly what he used for his momentum there. Son, right place, right time. You know, walks into that pass, takes it in, hits that shot, pulls him back in, and now he's sitting good, right? And it's also goal difference, right? You know, I'm talking about Snare, because it might just come down to how many goals were you able to score. There's another one. My goodness, what a cracker of a shot. Was that on the volley as well?
Yes, it was, good sir. Yes, it was. The ball comes through. Bruno Fernandes laces it first time. Hopefully we get to see this again. Oh, no, it wasn't. Okay, so tap the ball first. All right. But still, magnificent shot. Placed perfectly. Keeper stands no chance in that situation. 2-1 up in the second leg. 6-2 up on aggregate. And with 4 goals as a cushion and only 1 half left, I think Moby can start thinking about the next matchup and whether or not it's that one that confirms him in the playoffs. But I think his work is done here, Timber.
Yeah, for the most part, especially if we keep seeing, you know, the recipe that's been happening with Arthur, where you get 1 goal past the net and you just start crumbling and falling into pieces. I mean, look, man, he had the lead for a whole 45 minutes. And now, well, not the whole 45 minutes, but if you look at that half, he was in the lead. And now all of a sudden, we're not even like, you know, 10 minutes into this one, he's lost the lead. It's just, he needs to work on this, you know, on just regaining focus. And you say this a lot, you know, when we've been costing throughout the season, that the worst time to like get scored again is straight after they score, right? And that's exactly what happened. 2 back-to-back goals.
It happened. And now he has to try and deal with this. And part of the problem is also mentally, he's definitely cognizant of the impossibility of his task of just like getting points on the board. But we also don't want him to hit 40, right? 40, I said he's not going to get there, so come on. Hook me up, DarthMayhem. Do the right thing here. Beautiful ball back to Neymar, who finds a lot of space for Mbappe. This could be the goal. Mbappe gets the shot, but Mbappe can't get past Edison. He's still not out of possession just yet, though. Awa trying to get the ball into the box, but Edison, yet again, good with the hands. Holds on to it. That could have been the 2-2, but unfortunately, this time around, the accuracy was lacking from DarthMayhem rather than from Moby.
Yeah, and another build-up play coming in. Cartel, Neymar, that's probably... Well, I kind of thought maybe he came from offside position, but yeah, it looked like he just messed up the direction. So the ball's back in play. Sherwell taking it down the line, and this is going to be a dangerous pass in here. Son's on the ball. He's got some options in front of him to work with here. Pulls it back in. It's Kane with a shot, but the defender's right in front of him. So thankfully, that one won't go in. But now he needs to find a way to kind of get some momentum here, Darth, because it's just sluggish behavior so far from the team. Doesn't really seem like he's in it right now, and Moby is starting to crack down. Moby can feel that, you know, I've got control of this game. I can really try to capitalize, and I think he needs to start to capitalize Moby. Because if we're not going to see anything from Darth, can we please see something from Moby? I think we need a little bit more. Because 2-1 isn't that convincing in this leg for me that right now, you know, as someone that needs the points to qualify for 4th place, you know.
But he's not a high scorer, man. It's fine. Look, he's role-playing at actual Manchester United. Doesn't need to score that many goals to get himself up on the leaderboard. So it's fine. For him right now as well, I think it's... We speak about this often, right? As we see, wait, Cartel might score a goal here, but gets prevented by Edison. But something we've discussed very often here is the confidence that you need to have to stick to your game plan and stick to your idea of how to approach the game. So for Moby, it's never really been part of his game plan to drive in as many goals as possible. And the goals come great, but I think for him, he just needs to start now thinking about what to do if he gets to the playoffs. Because in those conditions, it's not likely that you're going to find as many opportunities as you've had against DarthMayhem. So you might still only have games. I think the more concerning thing for me about this matchup for Mobizilla is how many shots he's had, but how few of them have wound up in the back of the net. That should be of greater concern to him, I think, given the fact that you're not going to have that many opportunities going up against your Divox, your Unfazed, your the Beast Bianchis, if he makes it to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true, man. And I mean, the next matchup is a mountain, isn't it, for him, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah,
so let's hope he can capitalize a little bit more here. Oh, some lovely play coming from right here as we're talking about it. Lovely play. Finally, just being clinical with it. Bomber, right place. Slides it past the keeper. Gonna put those points up on the board. And at this point, if you're Darth, it's the consolation goal. You know, that's what you're looking for. Just to walk away. You know, get that goal difference tally down just a tiny little bit, and you don't want it to happen, but hey, Moby wants it to happen. You know, he's here, he's ready to play, he's woken up.
All right, it's not going to happen in this matchup. 40 is not going to happen just yet. Right now, though, there might be 4 because Jesus Navas gets the ball. Beautiful movement on the defense from DarthMayhem, but doesn't get rid of the ball properly. The clearance of the lines has been a major problem for him in this game, and now Bruno Fernandes looking for a pass into the box, unable to find the striker, but Octavio will have another chance as the ball comes back again. Recycled it to Bruno Fernandes, who gets another shot. This time will not miss. Turns it into 4 goals. 8-2 aggregate, even for Mobizilla. Phenomenal performance here in the second. And most of these goals, in fact, all of them, have come in the second half here, Tinder.
Yeah, man, I mean, it's like so tough to just basically lose the game in one half, you know? But here's Moby showing why he wants to be in that playoff.
Yeah.
You know, so now working from this momentum. Oh, the pass is right now. He's just clinical! The shot though, not so good, but the pass is right now. He's just decisive in where they need to be landing and which player needs to be taking that shot. So that's really good what we've been seeing from him in this closing embers of this game. And we need to see that if he makes it to the playoff, right? Like, we can't be only getting these miracle moments from Moby where he looks like the most amazing player all of a sudden, and then for, you know, 80 minutes of the 90, he's playing subpar.
I mean, in this particular half here, actually in leg 2 for the most part, his passing has been the most impeccable part of his play, despite the fact that he's gotten himself 4 goals. All 4 of those goals came primarily from the passing game, and like we were speaking about earlier, the one thing that's going to be weighing on his mind, yes, he got the victory. Yes, it's 8 aggregate, but 2 things, right? Considering how other people have beaten DarthMayhem, not the best from Moby, but also so many shots that didn't go in that could have gone in. For him, he needs every opportunity he can get, and let's see, he still keeps it in. Dr. Sid, he still did it. He did it. Told you he'd do it.
He did. I mean, he did, you know, but it is what it is. You can't take away from the fact that that goal difference is just unbelievable. Mobizilla coming through with an 8-2 victory over DarthMayhem. DarthMayhem is looking to probably break a record. I think we need to check the Umzansi record for what's the highest negative goal difference any player has ever had. I think DarthMayhem will probably going to break that record. I can't wait to take a look at what the standings look like right now. He is minus 37 goals with 1 game to go. Thendo said he was minus 40. You might as well be there. But that win right now puts Mobizilla in 5th place, which gives him an opportunity to make it into the top 4. With a game in hand, he could literally knock down Divac from that 4th spot. And also looking at Unfazed and the Beast Bianchi right now, they are not safe except for the goal difference. It is looking very interesting the last few games. It is going to be tight. I can't wait to see the match between Young Savage. To see Young Savage. It's gonna be very, very, very interesting. Bobo Beast has 1 game to go. I don't know, man. It's
I think it's a wrap there.
It's tight. What do you think about this table?
Yeah, it's so tough because Savage, I think, is in the most powerful position in the league right now because he has a lot of controlling power, given that he has the most games in hand. Yeah, so it's really up to how Savage's games go here for me, honestly. I think because if Savage ends up winning, what is that, 2 games in a row, how many points is he going to end off on? What, 15?
He's going to end up with 15 points. That puts him in pole position.
And let's say Beast loses, Masum loses. Now he's like, there's so much that could happen. It's so exciting. I don't know, man. So
it's so interesting that actually 1 more goal from Mobizilla in that particular match would have taken him above.
Yeah,
Divac.
He would have been.
It's literally down to the goals right now, and this is so intense. Like even me, I can't even. I literally think you have to get your pen and papers out on your calculators to be able to see the permutation that's going on. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say this has been an exciting evening. We've just witnessed some amazing football from Mobizilla, getting a W, moving into that spot, closer to secure himself a place in the top 4. We have more FIFA 21 tournament coming next weekend. But for now, I'm going to say a very, very big thank you to Snare and Thendo as we take a break. And when we come back, we will be back with some action from the PUBG Mobile segment. My name is Dr. Sid. This is the Umzansi Esports League Season 3, brought to you, of course, by Nodwing Gaming. And I will see you after this break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Umzansi Esports League. This is Season 3, brought to you, of course, by Nodwing Gaming. My name is Dr. Sid, here with some PUBG Mobile action, but I'm not here alone. I'm here with two amazing gentlemen, Patchy and DK, and we are going to give you some of the hottest action. Today is the final day of the semi-final stage. This is the last opportunity for certain teams to make it into the finals. We have been looking forward to this moment for a very long time. But before we get into it, myself and Patchy are going to talk you through the schedule for today.
The schedule for today is going to be the same that it's been for the last few weeks, but just in case you didn't know what that is, here's a little quick reminder for you. It is, of course, game number 1. It is a wrangle, tried and true, the butter and bread of this entire series. And, of course, moving on into game number 2, it's going to be Sandhawk for that CQC action and potential crazy plays, and then we're going to round things off for the final game, number 3, of course, being a Miramar for some of those long-range engagements and some spicy action to finish things off. And hopefully today we will see some interesting things coming out of the teams. We have quite a lot riding on this, but we'll get there. Don't worry. We've got plenty of stats for you guys. Of course, everything is riding for this prize pool right now. It's $15,000. That is really what everyone is going for. That is the goal at the end of the tunnel here. The PUBG Mobile segment, of course, taking 15,000 of the 17.5 that's available in total. If we have a look at that leaderboard, it is going to be Gamers Unite Nation sitting on the top. We have Undisputed AE there in second place. We have G3 Tempa in third, Pain Africa in fourth place. In fifth, we've got Influence Rage. In sixth, we've got Ultra 6. In seven, we've got the Immortalz. And in eight, we've got BBC. And this are some serious numbers here on this page. 292 points for Gamers Unite Nations, and Undisputed AE sitting on 288, pretty much leading the charge. Those two teams have been at one another's throats as well, pretty much going for the glory, going for the points, going for the chicken dinners. But it's not that page that is really going to become the most important, because as we move down the list, we're going to see in a position number 9 is Zero Tolerance Skills. In position 10, we've got Aphelion Apex. In 11, we've got Slime 4KT. In 12, we've got Lag Esports. In 13, we've got NFxUnique. In 14, we've got Young Thundercats there. In 15, we've got Scincerity Esports. In 16, we've got Black Clover. Now, of course, there are plenty of teams on this list that are a little bit shaky, maybe potentially moving forward, but really, the absolute crux of the matter comes in on that last page. We have our teams inside the relegation zone that are going to be trying their absolute darndest to get out. And, I've done some number crunching of my own to have a look and see what the possibilities are for some of these teams. So we'll get there just now. We'll read through this list first. Of course, in position number 17, we've got the Euphoric Gods. In 18, we've got Rainbow Six Madagascar. In 19, we've got Fear. In 20, we've got Not Gaming. In 21, we've got the Natural Killers. In 22, the Comfy Cartel. In 23, we've got Rain from Hell. In 24, we have the Drogons. Now, a big point right here of this scoreboard that we're going to have to deal with are those numbers that you see under the total points section at the end there, because we have a couple of teams that are going to be playing. In fact, a lot of them that are going to be playing that are in this bracket right now. So the Black Clovers, the Euphoric Gods, Rainbow Six, Fear, Not Gaming, Natural Killers, and Rain from Hell are the teams that I want you to keep in your mind, because those are the teams that are really going to be the teams to watch out for in terms of what is going to happen in the matches that we're going to be seeing today, because these teams, they need to try and get out of this relegation. And in order to do that, they have to beat a certain score. So let's have a look. Let's switch back over and see how they're going to be getting those points. Let's see how they're going to make it happen. It's first position, the chicken dinner slot, giving you 15 points. In second place, 12 points. Third place will give you 10 points. Fourth place gets you 8. Fifth place gets you 6. Sixth place gets you 4. Seventh gets you 2. Positions 8 to 12 only get you 1 point. Positions 13 to 16 get you nothing. And it is, of course, 1 kill, 1 point. And then, of course, it is your squads moving into that. The squads that are going to be in the groups today. It's Group A. Starting off with Gamers Unite Nation sitting all the way towards the top of that leaderboard. Of course, the Immortalz in here as well. NFxUnique, Not Gaming. We've got Rainbow Six, Madagascar, the Natural Killers of Fear, and Ultra 6. Like I said, some of the teams that definitely we need to be paying attention to, because they will come into the picture. They will come into the storyline as we move forward through the games today. And of course, we also have a Group C coming up here. It is Zero Tolerance Skills, Slime 4KT. The team did manage to make it all the way out of relegation previously, looking to keep this time going. They're pretty much safe for the moment. Lag Esports, we've also got Aphelion, Apex, Black Clover, Pain, Africa, Rain from Hell, and the Euphoric Gods. So those are your two teams for Group A and Group C that will be going against it. It is a reminder, it is the last day for the stages here for this round. It is the last day, so it's the final 3 matches that these teams actually have to make things happen. And like I said, I've done a little bit of number crunching, so you can ask me some questions if you want to about what we should be looking.
I'm gonna ask you some questions. I definitely have some questions to ask you, but first I'm gonna go to DK. DK, looking at what we have and looking at that leaderboard right now, before we go to Patchy's numbers, what do Slime 4KT and some of these teams have to do to either secure their space in the position where they are now, or come out of the relegation space?
Well, if we look at the teams who are safe, in my opinion, for that for promotion, I'd say it's pretty much from 13th position upwards, right? So, because the reason why I'm saying is the teams are sitting on 161 points plus. Right, the nearest team to them is, of course, the Young Thunder, which came to their last match yesterday, and they're, of course, sitting on 134. So that brings us to a total of about 27 points difference between that 13th and 14th position. So I'm pretty sure that Young Thunder will not be able to make up any points, as well, they don't have any matches left. So anywhere from Scincerity downwards, the teams are really going to have to bring it. So that's what I'm saying. I think from NFxUnique upwards, all those teams are secure in their position, and I'm pretty convinced that we'll see them move through into the finals. As for the other teams, well, Patchy will get into those names and numbers and digits and explain to us what it is they need to do to potentially make it up into those promotional spots.
All right, Patchy, let's hear these number crunching. Let's see who can, who can't, and what they have to do it.
Yeah, well, first off, let's start by saying that DK is pretty much spot on when he says that those teams sitting towards the top of that board there on number 2 are quite safe. There's most likely not going to be any big slip-ups. We're still going to keep our eyes on them to see if they do make any mistakes. But, I mean, at this point, it's not really very much in contention. What we're really waiting for is, of course, going to be the teams that I mentioned that you should look out for. So pay attention. Here's Black Clovers sitting at 121. Just above them is Scincerity with 132. Now, that is the threshold. 132 and 121 are the threshold slots right here. And you could probably say 134 for the Young Thundercats. These are the threshold spots that are going to be determining whether or not the teams make it up. So the teams that are playing, of course, they're going to be coming in. So the Black Clovers, obviously, we've got Euphoric Gods in 17, just below them. We've got Rainbow 6 as well. We've got Fear. We've got Not Gaming. We've got Natural Killers. We've also got Rain from Hell. And each one of them, it needs the following number of points to make up the difference. So the Euphoric Gods, in order to make the range of 132, using that as a baseline, they need to get 11 points, okay? Which is an average of 3.67 points per match. The Euphoric Gods need to get 18 points, right? Which is an average of 6 points per match. Rainbow Six needs to get 27 points, which is an average of 9 points per match. Fear needs to get 30 points, which is an average of 10 points per match. Not Gaming needs to get 32 points, which is 10.67 points per match. Natural Killers need to get 46 points, which is an average of 15.34 points per match. And Rain from Hell needs 56 points to make it up, which is 18.67 points per match. At this point, I think the Drogons are pretty much set to be right towards the bottom there, so I don't think we're going to be seeing them move on. But those are some of the numbers and stats.
Well, numbers and stats you have heard, ladies and gentlemen. The teams are out of the plane. The first map, Erangel, has begun. The final push for some of these teams to make it into the finals is started. I'll leave you in the very capable hands of DK and Patchy as they walk you through the blow-by-blow action in this final day of the semifinals.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Sid. It's match number 1. It is Erangel. Our teams are making it down on towards that map, getting ready to show us if they have what it takes to get out of that relegation zone. And, you know, it seems like it could be a lot easier for some teams than it is for others. I mean, teams like, for instance, the Black Clovers, you know, the Euphoric Gods, maybe even Rainbow Six and Fear, don't need all that much every single game. You know, 3 points, 6 points, 9 points, even 10 points per match is not impossible. It's a pretty decent amount, but it's not impossible. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see if they'll be able to pull it off. Of course, we'll have a look and see that zone landing all the way down towards the south, which is really, really nice and spicy. So already straight off the bat, we are guaranteed to have quite an interesting first match.
Yeah, especially when that zone heads all the way down south. And yeah, excited to see what will come in from this. And I agree with you. The points the teams require to make it up into that potential promotion slots is not the most insane numbers. It is very much achievable. But it comes down to the mentality of the teams in the games here today. Whether they are up for the task. If they are down to get in there, we'll definitely see those efforts being put forward and the teams bringing their A game to try and secure themselves a slot moving up into those finals. But it is going to be quite a bit of a fight because we have the other remaining teams, the teams, of course, sitting in those higher positions, being able to control who goes through and who doesn't. If they play a really tough game, you know, the same kind of game they play to get into those positions, it is going to be exceptionally tough for the teams in need of those points. So I'm going to be looking to see what the Black Clovers, Rain from Hell, the Euphoric Gods, of course, Not Gaming, Rainbow Six, Madagascar, the Natural Killers, and Fear will bring in this game. So it's quite a few teams to be looking at. It's 6 teams, 7 teams, in fact. But there's a lot of potential riding on these 7 teams. And they also have the ability to decide who of them goes through. If they are able to encounter any of the opposing teams, they could, you know, really start bringing in the aggression because they're sitting in a very similar position.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's important to note that, you know, when we were looking at that leaderboard, some of the teams are not going to be playing. So, for instance, Scincerity, Young Thundercats, they're not playing. So they have the potential to be overtaken here if the other teams, you know, manage to put the recommended or the threshold number of points needed to actually make it over that line. So there's a lot riding on these teams that I said should keep an eye on. So we'll have a look and see if they can make something happen. The Natural Killers here, you could see Osiris on the one side, right up ahead here, not really in the greatest position, and their team needs 15.34 points per match on average to try and make it up out of their position. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to pull that off, and well, with Fear running right up here, Osiris in a little bit of a tough position, going to be putting the shots through, but instantly taken down. And well, that is pretty much that. He is taken out, flushed out, taken down. and it looks like the rest of the team sort of just dilapidated.
Yeah, it's especially in a position like that with the Cyrus being, isolated. He did have rather a teammate in the vicinity who could have pushed up, provided that additional bit of support, but they went for quite the split drop coming into this game. So this is the day where you want your rotations, your drop spots, everything to be as on point as you can get them. There's no room for mistakes if you want to move into that promotional page, if you want to move into those promotional slots. It is a very accomplishable thing, so I'm curious to see what the teams will bring and whether or not they're going to try and make a comeback. Of course, Natural Killer's already off to a bit of a shaky start, but again, they still have the potential to try and make up for it. We, of course, have the players here from Black Clover who are sitting in that 16th position. They are going to be looking to defend their slot, right? They're going to look to try and make it so difficult for the teams to try and get above them, but at the same time, looking to surpass the squad from Young Thunder. Because for me, that is kind of the team who you need to aim for to surpass. Because that could be the team that holds quite a few teams back, even though they're not even participating today.
Yeah, like I said, there's this bit of a threshold which I've set to 132 or 134 points, which are those two players that are, or teams, should I say, that are not playing, but they're still in the in the bracket, so they're just above the relegation zone, and they could potentially be knocked down into it depending on the performance of the teams. And I think the most likely teams that will be able to make it happen are teams like Black Clovers, Euphoric Gods, maybe Rainbow Six and Fear, because they have the closest margin. When we get down into teams like Not Gaming and Natural Killers, I mean, Natural Killers need 46 points, and that's just baseline. That's to go even. That's to break even with the threshold. They need more than that. So the way I've sort of structured it is you need, the Natural Killers need 46 points in total to get even. That's 15.34 points per match. So it's 15.34 plus 1 is basically what they need here, because they're going to be able to, they need to try and even it out, and then they still need to put the points to get above that. So they still need the plus 1 after that to actually make it above that threshold. So there's a lot of work to be done here. It's not impossible, but at this point in the game, I think we've got our clear, kill leaders and teams that are very much in control of what's happening here. So I think it's going to be very, very difficult for them to try and make that happen.
Yep, of course, now Pain also not making it too easy for the side here of NFxUnique. NFxUnique already sitting in that comfortable position, sitting in 13th spot. They do have a fair amount of points to their name, so it doesn't matter too much today what happens with NFxUnique and Pain, as we already saw. Pain sitting up in that 4th position, so they are pretty safe. They can pretty much just do whatever it is they please. And you could almost say the same here for NFxUnique. They just, however, can't be too relaxed in their approach. They still gotta keep an eye on those numbers to make sure that, they don't slip up potentially. But what's also quite interesting to see is the team sitting on that final page. Not only are they playing for a potential slot to get into that promotion relegation, they are also playing to see, whether or not they're going to be fighting it out with the teams coming in from Inkosi, because the bottom 16 teams in Umzansi are going to be fighting it out against the top 16 teams from Inkosi to see who will make it up into our next season of Umzansi. So there is quite a bit at stake here. The teams are not only fighting for the placement here, but they're also fighting to stay in the Umzansi tournament.
Yeah, so there's quite a big amount of pressure, a large amount of pressure on the teams that are looking down the barrel of that relegation, because as you mentioned, they're going to be tossed into the grinder when it comes to coming after this season ends. They're going to be up against the promotions from Enforcey to see if they're still worthy to play in the Umzansi Esports League. So yeah, there is definitely that daunting thing just hanging right over their heads here. So we'll see if they can make it happen. For the moment, though, you already called it out. Pain not in a position that is too shaky. They're pretty much quite happy right towards the top of that leaderboard. No problem there. Terry going to be jumping off to see if he can find any drop shots, but he will go down super quickly. NFxUnique, as you mentioned, also not in too much of a shaky spot. They're basically good to go. Yeah, keep an eye on the numbers, but for the most part, they should be fine. The real trouble is going to come in when we start to see teams like Black Clover or Euphoric Gods and Rainbow Six, should I say, who will be fighting it out and maybe not getting the required amount of points.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a bit of a challenge now. As we look over onto our zone, we can see it continuing even further down in towards the south. And of course, the team there from Ultra 6 just on the shoreline over towards that northern island. But of course, we look over to the bridges once again. We see Gunner now looking to push up, applying the pressure onto the side here of the team from Lack. Bounds right up close and personal, right up in their business. And of course, 1-9 says no, you shall not pass. Puts the shots in there with the Uzi. But now it is up to 1-9 and of course, A-Man to make that stand here for the Lack team and potentially looking to hold back the push coming in from the gun team. As you can see, Nerf now just trying to find those angles. A-Man quickly trying to recover a little bit of health, gets the mid popped in. But now it is a bit of a risky play because the gun is now pressured from both sides. They got a team position up into the north. They got a team position down into the south. So they got to be careful with how they play this one if they want to try and improve the standings they currently have. They're already doing such a phenomenal job. So we'd understand if they were like, you know what, let's try and push even harder because they are leading with quite a considerable amount of points. So far, it seems like they're trying to bring it up once again, but of course not going it too aggressive. We can see Nerf now getting hit and the process gun team being reduced once again. We can see the remaining player, of course, now down in the water, having a little bit of a swim here as Plaza is just trying to cool off from the pressures up on that bridge. But I'm curious to see, though, what is going to happen with the side of Lag. Still positioned up on the bridge. And, of course, the team that we have moving in from the north, which is the team here from Rain from Hell. The team in dire need of those points. We have them positioned down in that 23rd position, 23rd place. And they have the most points to try and bring in throughout today's games.
Yeah, they have 56 points needed to break even, which is quite a tall order, and I'm not sure if it's even doable at this stage of the game. And now they're putting themselves in a little bit of a tough one, putting themselves in the hot seat, so to speak, with all the teams now pushing up on them. But it's good to see that they are at least here. They are present. They are trying. They are playing, which is really, really good to see, and much respect for that, because a lot of teams will sort of just lose their will and just sort of drop out and not even pitch, which is a little bit sad to see. You know, you lose out on quite a bit of experience and a lot of, a lot of potential room for improvement and, just playing with some of the best teams in the region. So certainly good to see that they're still here. They are still putting the fight up right until the end, well, potentially at least. So right there on the eastern side of the map, of course, you can see plenty of teams stacked up there. We have Fear, we have Euphoric Gods, we have Not Gaming, we have Rain from Hell, we have the last play there from Gun, we have Lag as well. Tons of teams stacked on that side. And as the blue zone close up towards the south, we will see where it's about to go. And indeed, once again, it's going to be moving slightly inward towards the north of that island and reducing the amount of playable space. And finally, we have our island finish. Finally, I get what I've been waiting for so long. We'll have a look and see if these teams will be able to handle it. 16 teams and 55 players getting ready to have a scramble down here on the military island.
Yeah, we're in for a great potential scramble to come on through, but now the team here from Lag just so patiently waiting on the bridge, waiting to see which teams would try and push across. But of course now Rain from Hell also positioned up on the north of that bridge, looking to stop any teams from pushing on over. But now Not Gaming also stepping in, one of the other teams in a dire need of those points. They are currently positioned over in a 20th position on 100 total points. They need those 33, 34 points to secure that position up in towards the second page. So it's going to be quite a bit of a challenge for them. So it's interesting to see both the Rain from Hell and the side there, of course, coming in for the players of, Not Gaming. A little bit of contention here, a little bit of spice bringing itself into the mix, and this is a healthy fight for both these teams.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's good to see that Not Gaming is here to potentially find themselves something. At this stage in the game where the teams need so many points on the board to try and, elevate their position a little bit, they need to be in the hot seat. They need to be in a position where they are taking fights and taking engagements. They can't be sitting back. They can't be playing passive. They can't, hope that somebody's going to walk into them. They have to be out there doing something. They have to be in the thick of things because that's where they have the potential to earn the most points. So let's have a look and see if they can make it happen. We've got Rain from Hell, of course, moving up here, getting their rotations through and just completely ignoring the pepper spray coming down from Zeus. Just as he's trying to put some shots across, they will be able to get across that bridge and escape the blue zone for the time being as it slowly moves in. 3 zones deep already, moving in towards zone number 4. The teams situate themselves on the island, getting ready for what could potentially be quite a chaotic finish, as a lot of times we don't see the zone ending up here on the island, so maybe teams will feel a little bit less than comfortable. You see Not Gaming moving slowly up that bridge, but just biding their time. They want to make sure they're not going to get just running straight into the middle of a gatekeep, but they don't have to fear. Nobody's there to wait for them on the other side of the bridge, although there are a couple of players like Rain from Hell, Plaza from Gun, and of course Euphoric Gods up towards the right side of them. Of course, here on your screen, you can also see a couple of shots coming in from Pain. So Pain also putting in some damage across the way. Zero tolerance here on the hill. Trying to stay alive, but that blue zone is coming to do damage to them.
Oh, and of course now Kingman looking to do a little bit more than damage, looking to get those squads wipe in. Of course now Pain just having an absolute blast in the game here. Now this is where things are going to get pretty interesting as we move down on towards the Sosnovka Island. It is a pretty tough spot to be fighting in and around. Of course, the players there from Zero Tolerance right alongside them. And a good disengage now from Pain as they decide rather to move in the direction of the zone instead of looking to put those fights in. This is where I'm looking to see what exactly the positional play is will have coming through as there's still quite a few teams positioned on the outskirts of the zone, and we can see now the players there from Not Gaming starting to succumb to that blue zone as it is finding its way on through. And man, even 4KT all the way down there alongside the players from the Black Clovers, it's a very, very southern position to be in. But it's an interesting play from 4KT. I mean, it looks like they don't want to give those kills up to anyone. That's why they are sending themselves into the blue. So that's also a different kind of play all in of itself.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, the whole point of trying to get points on the board is that you need to be in the middle of a fight. If you're denying yourself to the enemy teams, then you're not giving them any of those points, and you know that you're secure, so you don't actually have to do anything. So denying that kill to the other teams is definitely a way of taking the points away from them. Which can be very, very difficult if the teams want to try and, improve their position on that leaderboard. So it's a little bit unfortunate that we see that, but it is what it is. Of course, we have Ultra 6 turning their attention towards Plaza, maybe trying to scope him out and take him down if he decides to leave that particular spot. Zero Tolerance taking a little bit of damage. Myth putting some shots into Argus, and Darkness goes down as well. Immortalz getting hit by Zero Tolerance. Shylock going down as the Euphoric Gods do take a fight against Rain from Hell, who are pretty much all down except for Jin, who is riding in on his buggy to try and assist the team. But is he going to get there in time? He has managed to close the gap, but shots coming through, lots of damage done. But can he get the res in is the question. It looks like they will go for it. Shylock should be able to get picked up here, but it's going to be a tough one. It is a flank coming through as well. This could be the end of it. Are they going to be able to spot it out in time? They do get behind some cover. Shylock needs to juice himself up super, super quick because they're about to be in for quite the battle here. As, of course, the last Rain from Hell player will get thirsted, leaving only Shylock and Jin alive here up against the Euphoric Gods, who are now hammering away towards the vehicles, trying to put the spray down. Roshi gets taken down in the meantime, and Quara also getting taken down by Pain. So the fights are happening all over the show. We've still got 14 teams and 36 players left. The things are absolutely crazy. The mollies do come through, as well as Pablo just absolutely pushing straight on up. He's hungry for these kills. He's ready to take them, and he's just going to instantly put those shots in. No problem whatsoever. Goodbye. Rain from Hell gets taken out, and with that, I think maybe have lost a grand portion of their chance to make it out of relegation. In the meantime, we do have some battles happening all over the rest of the map.
Yeah, of course. Now we did see Rainbow Six there landing a beautiful few shots on to the players coming in there from Fiat. So the numbers are getting reduced one by one. We are sitting on 12 teams. That zone shifting up once again, heading even further up in towards the north. Now we're looking to see, of course, what the teams in the south there are going to be doing and how they're going to try and rotate up in towards the zone. We got NFxUnique, of course, on that far southeastern side. Not Gaming as well as Lag also now starting to head up in towards zone. We also have the players there from Pain as well as Ultra 6 position on the southern edge of the zone. You can see Miyagi now just trying to get a bit of an angle in on the players here from the Bane side, but we got the full squad of Bane positioned into this building. It is going to be pretty aggressive sending if they do decide to come out, and that is exactly what they do. El Chapo putting a very swift in there too. Miyagi. Lynx, of course, now picking off their heads over towards the team from Lag Esports as they are getting pretty close. The teams now, of course, looking to find themselves in a secure position so they can defend their ground and hold on to the zone as long as they can.
Yeah, some tough times are bound for these teams here. There's still 12 of them remaining. The shots coming in from Zero Tolerance in towards Aphelion Apex. Zero goes down. The smokes are getting popped all over the place, and you can see on that mini-map, absolute chaos. It is going to be so tough for these players to keep themselves oriented in terms of where their enemies are, because it's just chaos all over the place. Vortex going to get taken down and thirsted immediately there by Myth as Euphoric Gods start to push up. No Braino going to rotate away, try and get himself out of the pressure zone. But I'm not sure if that's even possible, as pretty much everywhere inside the safe area is pressure at this point in time. You can see the crossfire just absolutely nuts. It is a tough time for all of these teams. Zero now coming up to try and see if he could spot anyone out. Everyone's trying to take what little cover they can find. Link's going to get taken down there by Shoto. Hates, of course, going down as no one is there to save him. Skido goes down. Lynx goes down as well. Everyone is losing their lives, and now we are in our top 10 teams already. Things have just heated up super quickly. But as you can see on the map right there, the natural killers have survived with one of their players up in towards the north of that island, which might just come back and help them quite a bit, considering they need to put 46 points on the board in total, which is quite a substantial amount. So they're going to need quite the big miracle here for themselves. In the meantime, the southern portion of that zone looking absolutely nuts as the teams exchange some serious fire. Pain Africa putting some shots across in towards Plaza and the Lag Esports team. You can see here Pain also keeping their crosshairs in towards the Immortalz as everyone is trying to find the damage onto one another.
It is going to be still a bit of a fight here, as we do have some of those teams in need of points. Still holding on to the lobby, looking to secure themselves some good placement points. And of course, they are now within the placement point region of the game. We are in our top line, so there will be points distributed. But the ideal position would be to, of course, get anywhere above that 8th slot. That is what the teams should be aiming for. But now we look to see what they will bring. Pain now, of course, stepping up with their own rotation, looking to push in potentially from the southwestern side. It is a heavily congested zone just up ahead. We can see the players there from Lag, of course, positioned up ahead of them, with the addition of Ghana holding just south of the zone. So a few potential, plays still to come from this. It is going to be a bit of a hairy fight to get in, as we still have 19 players now on the board. 8 teams still alive, as we do see Plaza getting sent right on over. And now this is where things... Man, I'm so curious to see what's going to come from this.
Yeah, we still have Rainbow Six on the map, which means that they have a pretty good chance of putting some extra points on. They need 27 to break even, so they need a little bit more than that if they want to overtake the threshold here. So they put themselves in a decent position. Top 8 is still okay, but they need a whole lot more than that. So lots of bullets absolutely flying. No Brainer going to go down. Myth going to go down, as well as Mullins falling. 7 teams remaining now, as Rainbow Six do spot out one of the players right up ahead of them, sneaking behind that boat. Pain Africa still in the tussle here, trying to put the hits across. You can see Sky going down in Fantasy as well, going to hit the deck. Nova is going to be exploded. That's the natural killer's chances getting erased there with that explosion, leaving us with 5 teams as the stragglers get eliminated. El Chapo coming straight on up, but he's going to get punished immediately. Third-party shots just firing in his direction. Pain Africa not in the best spot here as they try and move up against Lag. Shots going in, and one is going to find the hits. Now up comes the Nud, but he's not in the greatest position. Very low on HP. El Chapo getting taken down, and Pain Africa might just be eliminated right here. And indeed, they are. Not like they don't, not like they need the points because they're sitting right at the top of the leaderboard, but certainly still putting in the effort, which is great to see. Rainbow Six still in the game, which is pretty big for them. As I mentioned, they need 27 points to break even. So every single placement point they can get is super, super useful. And they are in the top 4 at the moment, which is pretty huge for them. I've also been keeping an eye out to see if the Euphoric Gods are still in this game. I'm not sure. Yeah, they are. Here they are. Euphoric Gods are also still in this game. They need 18 points to break even. So they are very much in the range of starting to make that happen here. So the possibilities for these teams to get out of that relegation zone are definitely still alive.
Yeah, of course, now the players here from Rainbow Six as well as the Euphoric Gods, they are looking particularly good coming into the zone. They, of course, also have the addition of the lag team that we can see positioned over in towards the southwestern side of the zone. So a lot of potential for these teams to finish strong, but of course, ideally, Rainbow Six and the Euphoric Gods would be aiming to place in the top 3. That is where they get the greatest amount of points for their positioning, particularly that first and second spot. But now let's see what will come from this, as of course we teams remaining 11 players, so essentially there's anywhere from seven kills up for grabs, depending of course depending on which team we are looking at. I mean, Euphoric Gods, they are sitting on 4 players, so there is 7 players against them. But we do have some of these teams sitting on 1, as we can see, of course, the NFxUnique, the last remaining solo player. It is a pretty tough one there for this, so looking to see what will come. And I'm hoping for the best here, Patchy.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we can really do. We just keep our fingers crossed here and hope that these teams manage to make their dreams come true. Here come the shots from mid. They will be landing one, trying to find some of his own right in return. Crosshairs, aim, Shoto gonna try and make it happen. Up he comes, but the damage is already done. Rainbow Six feeling the pain and getting taken out. Lag is still alive here. They're crushing the hopes and dreams one by one. With Rainbow Six going out there in 4th position, they'll get a decent amount of points towards their 27-point count needed to break even. Of course, one trying to get the res up on Fantasy, but just trying to keep ahead of that zone is a little bit too much, and that nade will come in and just send him flying. Fantasy still going to be able to get res, though, and the Euphoric Gods trying their absolute best to stay in this one, and I think they have just given themselves a pretty good chance because they only needed 18 points to break even, and finishing in top 3 is going to give them a substantial amount of that. So they're already giving themselves a really, really good chance to make this possible. And if they could finish higher than top 3, it might be even better. A chicken dinner would be the absolute cherry on the top of the cake. Zist from the blue zone, or from the edge of the blue zone, going to be putting the shots in, looking for lag, but there come the hits, instantly getting shut down. And here it is Euphoric Gods still in play. Top 2, can they make it a chicken dinner? Pablo is looking to make it happen. One, not in the greatest position to try and defend. It's a 1v3 as the Euphoric Gods look to claim their chicken dinner and start things off huge for their climb out of that relegation.
Yeah, that was an absolutely beautiful finish coming in there for the Euphoric Gods, and I think that was enough for them to ensure that they've got a position potentially moving on into that promotional section. But it is still a little bit too early to say. I think we'll know closer to that 3rd match once we've seen what the teams bring in the final shuffle on towards Sanhok before heading up in towards Miramar. But you gotta give it there to the players from Lag as well, securing that 2nd position, coming in with a 10-kill finish. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. And of course, the Euphoric Gods, they were able to secure themselves 7 kills on top of the placement points, so that puts them on 22 points that they just brought in this one single match. Of course, the side there of NFxUnique securing himself that 3rd position with the 5 kills. Again, some decent points on the board, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be quite happy with the 15 points that they just acquired there.
Yes, just looking at the tables there as they were scrolling up to find out where 4KT ended up, just to make sure that they're not getting complacent and thinking that they're totally safe. At least they came up with 3 points. But big shout out to the guys from Euphoric Gods. That's big play. I can't wait to see what based on Patchy's calculations and the numbers, where they actually end up in the overall standings. But I'm going to ask you, DK, what was your highlight for that particular game right there?
It was good for me to see the players from the Euphoric Gods and Rainbow Six. You gotta say it, Rainbow Six making it all the way up into those late circles, making it up into that top 4. That is essentially where you want to be, and it shows you that both Rainbow Six and the Euphoric Gods, they came into today with a plan. It wasn't just giving it up to chance. They came in with a plan, and they want to try and secure themselves those positions in a promotion. So big ups to them, and well played.
Yeah, and it's all about securing those spots in the for the next round. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if in case you forgot, the prize pool for the PUBG Mobile segment is $15,000. $15,000. I'm not sure how it is distributed amongst the team, but whatever your portion is of that $15,000, it is a substantial prize pool in itself. We're just waiting on the leaderboards to be populated. As everyone knows, we've had an update from P in the last couple of days, so we do have to switch the way we handle our technicality. It's all good. It's all gravy. Patchy, I don't know if you have some of the numbers off the top of your head, but based on what you know and the number crunching you did before today, what are we looking at in terms of movements on the leaderboard?
Well, I mean, just going back to, what I was saying about Euphoric Gods, they needed 27 points to break even. I think they just got about 22, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, there it is, 22. So out of the 27 points they needed, they've already made 22 of those in game number 1. That means they only need 5 points to break even and 6 to get across that line. That is, of course, assuming that the other teams don't decide to catch up. So really, again, well played to the Euphoric Gods for putting on such a good start. Hopefully they can keep consistent in picking up a couple of points for themselves. Of course, moving down that leaderboard, it's Lag Esports in second place with 22 as well. NFxUnique in third place with 15, as well as Pain Africa with 15 points in fourth place. We've got Rainbow Six Madagascar in fifth place with 11 points. Natural Killers in 6 with 4, as well as Zero Tolerance and Ultra 6 coming in with 4 points apiece in 7 and 8 respectively. So some big points getting gained by some of these very important teams. Immortalz coming in 9, and, well, actually, Immortalz, Aphelion, Apex, Gun, and Slime 4KT with 3 points each in 9, 10, 11, and 12. Then in 13th place, we have Fear. In 14, we've got Not Gaming. In 15, we've got Rain from Hell. And in 16, we've got Black Clover. So, yeah, very unfortunate for Black Clover and for Rain from Hell. Definitely going to be a little bit of a tough one for them. But certainly, let's take a look at that overall.
At this. So looking at the leaderboard right now, what we have is obviously the second and third pages, which are the most important pages looking at right now. And as you did say it, Euphoric Gods have literally crossed over the hurdle into 14th position. DK, do you want to break down what we're looking at right here?
Well, we do see the players there from Euphoric Gods, of course, bringing in those additional 22 points, moving them up from that 17th position, which they had themselves on 114, up into 14th now with 136 points. So already a pretty good play, of course. Young Thunder, the team that's kind of just setting the bar as to where the teams need to try and surpass. And of course, the performance coming in from the players there of Black Clover not being enough for them to secure the position for the current time. So they've, of course, now been moved down to that second page, as we can see them sitting over there in that 17th position. So they, of course, brought in 0 points in the last match, but there is still a slight sliver of hope for the teams to try and make it up. The bar is still there. It's still sitting on that 134 points. The team to beat is Young Thunder, and if they are able to accomplish that and they are able to push up aggressively enough, they could be smiling at the end of the day. But of course, it is going to be still quite a bit of a challenge. And the further we get into this game, the further we get through these matches of today, the harder it becomes for these teams to make up those points. And whether or not it's going to be realistic for the side there from Rain from Hell to bring in over 25 points over the next 2 matches, I don't know if it's something that they'll be able to pull off. It is going to be quite the challenge for the teams lower down at that leaderboard.
Well, we are up for challenges, and we will have bring you more challenges when we come back right after this break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Umzansi Esports League Season 3, brought to you, of course, by Nodwing Gaming. This is the PUBG Mobile segment. My name is Dr. Sid, here with DK and Patchy, and it has been an exciting break, and even a more exciting match, but an exciting break because we have spent the whole time crunching numbers and trying to figure out what exactly are the possibilities over our next two maps on Sandhawk and Miramar. Let's take a very quick look at the standings of the first game. Patchy, do you want to talk us through names, numbers, logos, and flags?
Oh yeah, let's dive into that. So just a quick refresher, the Euphoric Gods taking first place for that winner chicken dinner plus 7 kills, giving them a total of 22 points, which is a very nice and spicy number, right above the threshold number that they needed. So if you recall, they needed 18 points to make it across that line. They've made 22. So of course, they have made it out of the relegation for the time being, and they should be a-okay moving forward. Of course, heading into the page down here, as we very quickly and very swiftly sprint through the standings, you'll be able to see here that the second page of that previous game, not having all that many points in the hands of the likes of Immortalz, Aphelion, Apex, Gun, Slime4KT, Fear Not Gaming, Rain from Hell, and Black Clover. So it's going to be a bit of a tough time for teams like Rain from Hell and teams like, for instance, what was it, Rainbow Six. They're going to have some difficult times ahead to try and bring themselves out of this relegation. So have a look at this page. This is currently where the teams are being relegated. This is the relegation zone right here. And in my hashtag professional opinion, Black Clover and Rainbow Six Madagascar probably stand the best chance of still being able to make it out of this zone. Although arguments can probably be made for the rest of these teams, to my mind, I'd say Black Clover and Rainbow Six probably have the best chance of making something happen here.
Black Clover and Rainbow. Looking at those numbers, there's also possibilities for Fear and Not Gaming. So this is a tight one. DK, looking at some of the teams like Fear and Not Gaming, what needs to happen for them to have even a slither of hope to make it into the qualifying positions?
Well, it is a pretty tough call here, Sid. Looking at the players there, for instance, like Not Gaming, if they want to stand a fighting chance to get up into that into the page, they need at least 31 points, right? At the bare minimum, 31, 32 will go for. Say 32 is probably the best position for them to aim for. So in order for them to bring home the 32 points, they need on average 16 points in each of these following two games. So that means they need to at least try and acquire a 4th position placement with 8 kills to accompany that if they want to move into that safe zone. That is the minimum requirement to surpass the team from Scincerity, who is sitting on that 131 points. Now, the teams positioned above them don't have as many points to try and bring in, but it is a very similar kind of approach there for them, of course. Now, as we were looking at the standings there, it is looking a little bit easier for the side of Black Clover, as they do not have that many points to try and make up. They only have about, well, let's call it 11 points to try and bring in. So one decent game from them could be enough to ensure their position in the finals. But it is going to be pretty tough. And for a safe bet, I would aim to try and get more points than Young Thunder has, which is, of course, 134 points. 34. So, yeah, if you aim to get above Young Thunder, but you don't manage to get just enough and land it just below them, you still earn higher points than what Scincerity has at the current moment. So it is going to be a neck-and-neck fight across the next 2 remaining maps.
Well, speaking of those 2 remaining maps, the first of those 2 started now. Teams are in the air, jumping out of the plane in their parachutes, and I'm going to leave you in the very capable hands of DK and Patchy as they walk all of us through the action that is the final day of the semi-final round.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sid. It is map number 2. It is Sandhawk. And of course, we are heading straight on in the flight path. A little bit skewed to the one side, but the teams will be able to make it down on to the map. Now, going back to the conversation of can the Black Clovers make it out? Can Rainbow Six make it out? They don't need all that many points. You know, we're talking about 11 points, maybe 12. But, I mean, that means that both Black Clovers and Rainbow Six have to kick into gear, and they have to do it right now because the time is running short. This is the second of 3, which means after this, we only have one more match for the points to come through. And all of these teams have the potential to take you out on the way there. Now, of course, that zone landing up in towards the northeast, so the teams will have to do their rotations, and they'll have to do them relatively quickly. We've got 4.5 minutes of prep time for these teams to get themselves looted and ready to go. And then we're going to start getting into the action, and we'll see if the teams have what it takes to be able to get themselves out of the dreaded relegation zone.
It is going to be a pretty fierce fight that I'm expecting to see right here on Sanok. This, of course, is the map that lends itself to the aggression, that gives the team the opportunity to go out and look for those extra additional kill points they weren't necessarily able to acquire over on our Erangel game. So pretty curious to see what the teams will bring. And so far, it looks like a pretty interesting spread as well. So expecting some pretty tough plays to come in as we make our way through this Sanok map. And of course, already Paradise Resort is looking pretty hot and heated, and the kills already on the board there for NFxUnique.
Yeah, straight off the bat, we're getting into the thick of things. We'll see Rain from Hell also here on the board, trying to make something happen. For them, the climb is quite a large one, quite a difficult one. I'm not sure if it's even one that can be accomplished by them. But the fact is, they are still here, they are still playing, which is something in and of itself to be respected at the very least. Because, you know, some teams do tend to drop out at the end there when they know they can't make it out of relegation. They'll just drop out and stop playing. And honestly, you know, I don't think that's the best, the best way to handle the situation. You know, you're losing out on some very critical experience that you could potentially be gaining, especially considering if you do head over into the promotion relegation series versus the up-and-coming teams from the Nkosi Super Cup. You're going to have to, well, you're going to want as much experience as possible. You're going to want to be prepared as possible. So we'll wait and see. Have a look if these teams have what it takes, like I said, to make it out of relegation. Rainbow Six, one of the teams potentially in the run-up to make that happen. They certainly have some points to get on the board if they want to, though. And it's not impossible, you know, 9-10 points per game ought to do the trick. They can do that in this game and the next game, they should be good to go. We'll keep a weather eye out for the Black Clovers and Rainbow Six specifically to see if they'll be able to make it over that line. Swag is going to get taken down in the kill feed there, so a couple of shots being exchanged here and there. But no fights in earnest just yet. Zist pushing down is going to catch one out, but he's not going to be able to land the shots. That's a bit of a problem. You need to hit those shots for sure. Otherwise, you might find yourself in a bit of a tough spot, but he does manage to at least pick up that kill at the end of things. A couple of third-party shots coming in his direction, but he won't go down just yet, so we'll be able to stay alive for the time being. But it's good to see the teams on the hunt for those kills.
Yeah, of course, the AK spray is sometimes a little bit of a challenge to try and cope with, as we just saw there. It is a little bit erratic at times, but of course, well done, kudos, getting the kill in, getting the finish in. But now it is up to the teams to, of course, bring in that game, bring in that play. And we're coming in here with high expectations. Immortalz, of course, being one of the teams that do find themselves in that safe zone. They are currently, of course, on that first page, so a really comfortable position for them to be in. But now we look to see what the rest of the teams will bring, as we do have that zone, of course, all the way over towards the far eastern side. It is a very interesting position for the zone to be shifting in, but I'm curious to see just how far these teams are going to try and push over towards the east. Rainbow Six already taking the initiative and finding themselves on that far eastern coastline, but now the rest of the teams still having to push on up. It's going to be tough. You can see, of course, the players there from Not Gaming still hanging around in towards that Hatin region. So they are a bit cautious with their rotation. We can't really blame them. They don't want to put themselves in a vulnerable position too early, but also they can't delay that too much. If they come in a heavily packed zone, it's going to be a pretty tough time for them to get a decent spot.
Indeed, it is. Indeed, it is. We'll see if the teams can make their rotate up into the east quick enough. It's from the look of things, Camp Bravo was looking pretty open there, so some potential space if you need to squeeze up into the zone super quick. But well, we will be heading in to some very difficult times ahead as the teams do rotate from west to east to get across that line. Some potential for gatekeeping certainly on the cards at the moment. We still have a ton of teams and players still left here. 16 teams still remaining, so we've got our max number. 60 players left alive. 4KT looking to put a couple of shots in. This is a team that was able to make it out of the relegation zone themselves a couple of weeks ago, and they have been showing up just ever since, showing that they are still here to make things happen, just barely making it across the line, but showing us that they have the potential to do a whole lot more. Maybe we'll see a little bit of that shining light within now as we see Pounds putting the shots over in towards 4KT. Gun, of course, a team not to be trifled with. Certainly, they are able to make some serious things happen, some serious damage happen, which is why they're sitting towards the top of that leaderboard. In fact, on top of that leaderboard. Now they are going hunting our friend Lefuent, getting taken down in the process. My heart breaks every time I see his name in the kill feed, TK.
Yeah, especially if it's on the wrong side of the kill feed patching.
Yeah.
No, when he's on the receiving side and not on the dealing side. But now, of course, we see Jagger here looking to push up, finding a quickly shot over towards the side there of the Black Clovers. And this is a very important fight. This fight that we have, Not Gaming up against the Black Clovers. Of course, now they're fighting to see who will be allowed onto that second page. Black Clover, so close, but still so far. And of course, now with this push coming in here from the Not Gaming team, it already is putting quite a dent in their hopes and dreams of acquiring those decent points. And already we can see the players here from Not Gaming securing themselves 2 points. Now they need to try and bring in a few more kills as they now look to close it up onto Vibe, securing themselves their 3rd point. So well done. Slowly but steady gets them there. Now, of course, they also need to look and see whether or not they can secure themselves a stronger positional play. Not only kills, but that positional play. Obviously, the more kills they can bring in alongside that, the better it would be for them and the more points they would be able to bring in. But of course, as I mentioned, ideally they are looking for around about a 4th position finish, with the addition of about 8 kills to their name, if they are looking to push all the way straight up into that promotion page off of just this game and potentially the next one.
Yeah, for sure. Lots of work to be done. And Black Clover is, of course, one of the teams that could have potentially made something happen. But I said, with a little asterisk at the top there, I said they're going to need to try and switch on their performance here. They're going to have to bring something to the table. They can't just sit back and hope for the best. They have to make things happen. They have to turn on that next level gameplay. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make that happen, and now they've been reduced to one single player, one straggler to keep their hopes and dreams alive. Humdy just taking a look at King over in towards the water there, getting the quick tap in, saying goodbye, and sending him into the lobby. Getting a quick kill for Black Clovers and potentially some placement points. If he manages to stay alive, we'll keep our eye on him. It is possible to stay alive for quite some time as a lone wolf, but certainly not the easiest thing to do as Humby takes to the water and starts to swim towards salvation. Potentially going to be sticking himself on that island just off the one side inside that safe area. Some teams getting caught out in the blue, Not Gaming and the Immortalz as well up in the north there. Of course, Aphelion Apex down in the south also getting caught in the blue, and they're going to be running straight in towards Ultra 6, so maybe a little gatekeeping happening straight off the bat as that zone, of course, shifting up once again, getting smaller in towards the center and forcing all of those outlying teams closer in towards the middle, where, well, we'll be seeing them fight against one another and reducing those numbers just a little bit more.
Yeah, and of course now also looking to see what Rain from Hell will be doing. We do have them positioned up in towards Paradise, so it is a fairly safe position for them. They do have a lot of angles that they can work with and defend, but as we also now look over towards that eastern side, we do have Rainbow Six as well as the players there from the Natural Killers. 2 of the teams in need of points, and the teams looking to make a run for that second page. Of course, now Rainbow Six needing far less points than the Natural Killers do, but it is still going to be a pretty hairy fight for both these teams if they get involved in an engagement between the two of them. But of course, also, we are hoping to see them rather fighting it out with the other teams. It is going to be a little bit of a feels bad, you know, if both of them face off against each other and either or gets sent back into the lobby.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. At the moment, we have our eyes on the Natural Killers here, who have quite a task ahead of them. They've got so many points to put on the board. It's got to be like 40, 45 plus points for them to try and make something happen. I'm not sure if that's going to be even doable. It's quite a tall order for the likes of the Natural Killers, and I must say, it really did seem like the Natural Killers never found their footing in this season. It really just felt like they fell flat every time they tried to make something happen. And the Natural Killers that we expected to see just hasn't really shown up just yet. It would be surprising to see them show up now, although certainly a welcome surprise indeed. But honestly, I'm not sure if we're going to see that happen this time around. They might just have to go through the grinder that is promotional relegational series to maybe just shake them awake and bring them back on towards the Natural Killers that we expect to see. Of course, that has yet to be seen. They have taken up residence all the way on the eastern side, on the coast of the playable area, with Rainbow Six right up ahead of them. Maybe a little bit of potential here. Rainbow Six, of course, the other team that is looking to try and make it out of relegations. They've got a lot of work to do. If they pick a fight with Natural Killers, maybe they can pick up some free points here to boost their score and get themselves out of that dreaded relegation. It might just be doable for them if they can find the footing, if they can find their foot in the door when it comes to attacking one of the teams in the surrounding area. I see that there aren't that many teams that are close to one another here. Still, everyone just got their spots. We've got Pain rotating off around the south, just moving away from Ultra 6, not looking to take a fight with them just yet. The team's trying to prolong the inevitable as long as possible, but certainly you cannot prolong it forever. It is going to come inevitably. You will have to fight at some stage, and as that blue zone pulls in once again, we are very, very close to our zone tightening up and giving us some more action.
Of course, we saw the players there from Not Gaming with that slow, steady approach, just inching their way closer and closer to the zone, and playing a very, very cautious match here. But of course, we also see the players here from Pain Africa looking to now find a good, decent setup into the southern edge of the zone. We're about to, of course, head into our third phase, so it's going to be interesting to see what that zone will bring. The team here from Aphelion Apex also now looking to push on through and secure themselves a decent position in this coming phase. And I mean, I think this is going to be kind of the turning point. Once these teams see where the zone is going to be going, and I hope Loki that it hits east. Okay, it goes west. Never mind. It's fine. This is now a position where the Rain from Hell could look to capitalize on the position they have over in towards Paradise, right? So there is a chance that Paradise could be a contested spot, especially now with Not Gaming positioned right up above them. And Fear, they are caught over on that eastern side with quite a few teams, you know, close to them on that leaderboard, also now starting to move in. So if I really don't want to be Fear at this particular time. You know, it's going to be a really, really crazy day, especially now with Rainbow Six moving in. Oh, tough fights up ahead, Banshee. Tough fights.
Yeah, but that's what we want. We want to see the tough fights. Rainbow Six looking to take the fight with Fear and hopefully pick up some kills for themselves. Like I said, if anyone can do it, Rainbow Six have a pretty good shot at it if they can find their foot in that doorway, and they're certainly looking for it. Oh man, these players are really, really close. Hulk right across them in that vehicle there, just waiting to see if he can pop out and surprise somebody. Also, his teammate also sitting in the opposite vehicle on the other side, so maybe looking to pull a little bit of an ambush. In fact, I'm not even sure if Rainbow Six are aware that they're even there. This could be a little bit of guerrilla tactics coming out here, a little bit of that spicy surprise moment being prepared here. Some ambush ready and waiting for Rainbow Six. Are they going to be prepared for it? Hulk, super, super silent, has not moved a muscle just yet. waiting for someone to jump out of that house, waiting to give the go signal to his teammate and say, it's time to say goodbye. We'll see if they can spring their trap or if it's going to backfire, because one well-placed nade will certainly take them out. But of course, you have to know that they're there to make that happen.
Hey.
Chris, the other side, ooh, some shots in that kill feed. Natural Killer's going at it with pain. Of course, going to be losing that fight just a little bit. Not really the greatest spot. And of course, as they roll on up, we're finding that we're in a little bit of a tough time. So Pain is right up here with the Natural Killers. See them taking that fight, as I mentioned, they're in the kill feed now. You can see it on the screen. They are pushing up to try and get across that line. Is Pain Africa going to allow them to cross the line? That's the question. Natural Killers have so much damage to do, so many points to get, so much work ahead of them. Can they make it happen? Can they start things off right here, right now? As Osiris is going to be pushing down this hill. The Natural Killers try and make their way across that finish line. It's not going to be easy. Osiris goes down to no brainer. And one by one, the Natural Killers might just be finding themselves with a very difficult task ahead. Ooh, look at this. Another team has moved into the compound. Fear is waiting to spring their trap. Could this be it? They're biding their time. They're not peeking out just yet. They could have a sway. They could have a swing of things. The shot's coming through from Fantasy in towards Rainbow Six, but Fear has yet to pull the trigger. They have not sprung their trap just yet. What a layers upon layers of fighting going in here. Rainbow Six getting taken down. Chris, the rest of Fear, just biding their time and not exposing themselves just yet. You can see they're so antsy for it, but Rainbow Six get eliminated. They're not going to find the points that they were looking for. Now it's up to Fear to potentially capitalize as Lag find themselves low on HP. They might just be hide seeking this one out. If they don't want to spring any sort of an ambush trap here, they could just sit and do absolutely nothing. They also are a team that could potentially find the points necessary. I think they needed about 30 points in total to get out of their relegation, which is going to require some big brain moves from them. Now, one has moved himself out. Some shots coming through from No Braino. Lag taking a little bit of damage. Amen, of course, going to be the target of that. So many fights happening here. And Hulk and Chris just sitting amongst all of that chaos. They have not yet been found out. They have not yet sprung that trap, but here it is. They do it now. No Braino going to spot him out immediately, going to punish them for their insolence of trying to spring such a trap. But here comes some more teams. The Natural Killer's Shroud going to be moving up, putting the damage in. What absolute chaos is happening here on the screen right now. Shots coming in from Lynx in towards Pain. They're going to be feeling absolutely devastated here. All of these teams in the absolute thick of things right now as Chris gets taken out, and Hulk is the last one left for Fear, also sitting in this truck to try and make something happen. Everyone is trying to sneak, everyone is trying to fight, and it's just absolute chaos in the ranks.
Oh man, Patchy, this is just looking absolutely amazing. But I've got to give it to the Natural Killers as well. They are stepping up their game coming into this match. Of course, they are still needing those 43 points to secure a position. So it is doable, but they're going to have to bring home those chicken dinners in both of the last two remaining games. But starting it off like this, with Nova sending in, finding those hits, it is something that is absolutely doable if they engage beast mode upon beast mode. So I'm very curious to see what is going to come from our final two matches here. And of course now Fantasy with some really quick trigger fingers there, putting the shot straight up in towards Kage, but fortunately Zero is able... Zero up against Zero. It's not every day we see this, Batchy. Two Zeros fighting it out. What? Both Zeros get knocked out, and of course A-Man steps up and puts an end to the fight. Of course now clutching it out just so close to the edge of that blue zone. But of course now A-Man, it is far from over. Still need to run all the way back up into zone without dying, trying to stay ahead of the blue. Just gets the mid in. A-Man is a legend for pulling off that meds just in the nick of time. But of course, what a fight it has been so far. And of course, we can see the players also now from Not Gaming stepping up with their very own aggression, bringing in the kills. And of course, now we do see the players there from the Natural Killers being reduced down to one, maybe potentially two. Yep, well, there is two. We can see Shroud and Nova positioned out in towards the blue zone. But it's going to be quite a bit of a challenge, and it's going to be quite the challenge, or quite the the expedition they need to go on to secure themselves just in the zone, let alone the safe zone. It's quite a bit of a distance to cover here.
Yeah, it is going to be a challenging challenge that challenges these challengers to see if they're going to be able to make this happen. 4KT right up here with Rain from Hell. The shots coming through, of course, zero time up in that blue zone. It's too much damage to handle. It's 5 zones deep right now. Not Gaming going to be moving their way on into the middle of the map, or at least Snurra is going to be doing that. So the rest of his team up towards the north is going to be looking out towards the rest of the surrounding teams to see if they can find any of those shots. The blue zone coming through, doing what it does best and putting the pressure on the teams to make them rotate, make them fight pounds, putting the damage into Zist. That's a bit of a tough one, as the zone is going to be catching quite a few players out. Zero tolerance skills right up ahead of Humdy. Black Clover, he is trying to stay alive for as long as possible. But I'll tell you who's not staying alive. NFxUnique, zero tolerance skills. All of them are getting hit. Hates gets taken down. Zeus trying to juice himself back up. Shylock goes down to 4KT as they are still in the mix. 8 teams remaining, 22 players left alive. It is tough all across the board. We saw so many strategies and tactics trying to get pulled. Fear, trying to do some ambushing, everyone trying to do some fighting, some shots coming in. Zeus goes down just in the nick of time. Those shots do come through. LeFouWin still alive. Oh man, with the plan right here, try to keep his team alive, trying to put those shots across. Pablo gonna go down in the kill feed, as well as Sinister. The Euphoric God's getting hammered there. 4KT still putting the shot through. Zero tolerance getting taken down as well. Stu gonna get thirsted. And there goes Humdy. Down he goes. Zero tolerance going to be putting those thirsting shots straight in. Shylock and Rain from Hell crouched up behind this rock to try and stay alive. But they don't have time. They don't have anything to do right now. As they go for the res, they get punished by none other than LeFouWin. There comes the first. Rain from Hell getting taken down. 4KT on the rotate now as they try and make their way into the safe zone. 5 teams remaining, 13 players left alive. What a tough time that these teams have up ahead of them. Rush goes down. Short Boy Slim going to be hammering away on that trigger. Zeus looking through the crack and finding a couple of shots here and there. They've got a pretty good spot. Not Gaming right towards the top of this zone. And of course, Not Gaming, also another team that is trying to put as many points as they can on the board. Here come the shots towards 4KT. No, LeFouWin, he goes down. Zeus going to be putting Divine Judgment down on those who oppose him. Gun is still keeping themselves alive as well. They've got a good spread off to the one side to try and separate themselves out and give themselves a good chance at staying alive. Amen also right on the back line, keeping themselves alive as well. 4 teams remaining. It's 4KT, it's Gun. It's Not Gaming. We'll see if they can make it happen. It's also Lag. Amen just keeping himself alive, sneaking in the back line, playing the snake game. I'm not sure if he's been found out just yet, but he could certainly do so much damage. Pounds moving into the one side. Here come the shots. Down he goes. Now they know where he is, but is he going to get the first? Amen has absolutely thrown a spanner in the works there in Gun's plan. Now they have so much to worry about. Now it's triggers on the back, it's triggers on the front. LeFouWin still in the mix, putting the shots in. Snurra has to retreat into the house, sneaking up into the corner to keep himself alive. 3 teams remaining. It's 4KT, it's Gun, it's I don't remember who the last team is there. It's Not Gaming. There it is. Who's gonna make it happen?
I want to point out though, right? Not Gaming, as I said before, they need a 4th position placement, which they've already now surpassed, right? And 8 kills, all right? Now they're sitting on 7. Okay, so they've already now been able to meet half the requirements to get on to that 2nd page. Already with this 3rd placement, they've been able now to secure themselves 17 points, and they are just scraping through. One more match like this, and we will see them move through into the promotional page. Of course, now Zeus bringing in 5 kills already, as we did see that lovely pop-up come in. Now, the nades coming through from 4KT. The players here, of course, from Not Gaming, looking to hold on as long as they possibly can. Snora now getting rushed, but puts the hits in. Will he be able to hold on? And oh, come on, it's so close. Woo! What? It is done and dusted. Of course, what a way to finish it off. 4KT coming in with yet another winner chicken dinner. Not Gaming securing themselves a second position. That, of course, means they've just been able to secure themselves 20 points in this match, Patchy, and it makes the pressure on their shoulders to get into the next page just so much easier. But of course, 4KT finishing off there on a 10-kill match, putting them on 25 points. But man, I'm so excited to see what Not Gaming will bring in this next run, this final game.
I am so excited to see what that final leaderboard is gonna look like. Oh man, it's gonna be quite something spicy. And indeed, as we have finished game number 2, we are looking at a little bit of a shift in that scoreboard and some potential moving up and down of the teams finding themselves in that relegation spot. Man, oh man, what an exciting game. I cannot wait for number 3 to see how things turn out for these teams.
Thoroughly exciting, ladies and gentlemen. As Pachi has said over there, we're waiting on this right now. But how exciting was that particular gameplay, especially at the end by 4KT, DK?
I mean, it was absolutely insane. I mean, I gotta give it to the team there from Not Gaming. They've, again, come into this match with a plan. They've pitched up. They are here to try and work their butts off to get all the way up in and towards that promotional section. And man, if they bring another match like what we just saw, they could be smiling all the way at the end of today's matches. And that was just beautiful to see come in from Not Gaming.
That's amazing to see. So, with the numbers that have just come in from Not Gaming, and these put into this now, I'm very curious, Apache. What is the standing potential going to look like?
Well, that is a very good question because, DK was throwing in some numbers there to see if they were going to be able to make it out. And they might have cleared the conditions, potentially. At the very least, what DK said rings very true. They have alleviated the burden on themselves quite a lot. And with their performance in the last 2 matches, I definitely agree with the sentiment that these guys have come to play and they have come to try and get themselves across that finish line and just barely make it across. And that's what we've come to see. That's what we like to see. And certainly that's what we're hoping to see coming out of them, because from the performance that they've put in so far, it almost seems like they deserve to make it just across that line and head into the next round.
I know there's one thing that we talk about is that we're always talking about teams going up. But we also have to remember that as these teams are going up, somebody's coming down. So while we're waiting for the standings, I'm thinking, who's in trouble here? I think is it Scincerity Esports? Who's in trouble to be pushed down into that relegation spot? I think it's Scincerity Esports. And are they playing today? No Scincerity today. So, ladies and gentlemen, the excitement is fever pitch. One more map to go. After this, there is nothing else anybody can do, but we just have to be looking at the teams who will be in the finals and in the running to get that $15,000. We are waiting for the standings. I think what we should do, we should probably go to a break, and then we'll take the standings when we come back for the break so we can give you the full analysis of what is happening. Okay, and yes, we do have the standings right there, Pachi. You know how we do it.
Oh yeah, I know how we do it. It's 4KT once again showing us that they are certainly capable of shaking things up. Not that they needed to prove anything more, but certainly we know that they have come to play as well, and I do expect good and big things coming from them in the next round. So we'll see if they can tussle with the big boys. Of course, moving down, it's Not Gaming, who we were talking about just now, managing to put 20 points on the board for themselves and make things a lot easier in terms of getting out of that relegation. Lag Esports with 16 points in 3rd place. Gamers Unite Nations with 13 points in 4th. In 5th, we've got Zero Tolerance Skills with 9 points. In 6th, we've got Natural Killers with 7 points. In 7th, we've got NFxUnique with 6. We've got Rain from Hell in 8th with 5 points there to round off that first board. And of course, moving on into the second board, it is not going to be good news for most of the teams. Aphelion Apex 5 points in 9, Black Clover with 3 points in 10, Immortalz with 3 in 11, Euphoric Gods with 2 in 12, Ultra 6 with 2 in 13, got Rainbow Six and Madagascar with 1 in 14, and Fear with 1 in 15, with Pain Africa coming in with 0 points. Now, not going to be too much of a big deal for the likes of Pain, but for teams like, Black Clover, getting those points is super, super important. And not having gotten anything in that game, it's going to be a little bit disappointing for them. Black Clover and Rainbow Six, they were sort of in the runnings to make something happen, and now it may just be slipping from their grip. I mean, we've only got one more game. So I think the overall standings will really be telling in terms of if these teams even have a chance moving forward.
Well, we'll wait for the overall standings after the final game. But for now, we're going to go to a quick break. We'll be right back for our final map of the night.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you for sticking with us so far. We have just come out of 2 insane games for today, and we have one more left. That, of course, being none other than Miramar. We came out of some crazy stuff in Erangel and Sandhawk, and we watched the Euphoric Gods make it out of relegation. The same could not be said for anyone else so far just yet, but that all might just change. Of course, a quick recap of the previous game standings. It's Slime 4KT taking that #1 spot with 25 points with the chicken dinner and 10 kills to their name. In second place, we've got Not Gaming with 20 points. Definitely them making an absolute insane effort on their part to try and make it out of that relegation zone, and they did very, very well, but they've got to keep it up in game number 3. Of course, moving down into slot number 3, it's Lag Esports with 16 points. Gamers Unite Nations coming in 4 with 13, Zero Tolerance in 5 with 9, Natural Killers in 6 with 7, and NFxUnique in 7 with 6, as well as Rain from Hell in 8 with 5 points. So the most of the work really for that relegation to promotion phase being done there by Not Gaming. Of course, moving into the second page, we've got 9th place Aphelion Apex with 5, Black Clover in 10 with 3, Immortalz in 11 with 3 as well. Euphoric Gods with 2 points in 12. We've got Ultra 6 in 13 with 2, Rainbow Six Madagascar with 1 point in 14, Fear with 1 in 15, and Pain with 0 in 16. So, of course, they're not going to be too sad about that. Pain very much inside the zone for the time being. But here it is. So this is the page that we have been focusing on. As you can see, Euphoric Gods have made it out of the relegation, sitting in 14th spot with 138. The Young Thundercats and Scincerity Esports, both of these teams are not playing today. And they're not going to be playing in this third match. And their success is riding on, or at least Scincerity Esports' success is riding on whether or not the performance is going to come through from some of these teams down in the bottom. The Young Thundercats also in a little bit of a hot seat because the teams in the relegation page are looking to put those points in. And the question is, are they going to be able to make it happen? Black Clover and Not Gaming are pretty much the 2 teams in contention to make this happen. They might just be able to do this. They have 1 game to make it happen. EK, do you think it's possible?
Batchy, I don't know. It is going to be a particularly tough fight. And of course, you know, it is Rainbow Six, it is Not Gaming, and it is Black Clover. These 3 teams have the decision on their shoulders. They are in control of who makes it up onto that promotion relegation page. But only 2 of them can move into that. So which either 2 of these teams step up and bring home the necessary points, they'll be pretty pleased with their performance at the end of the day, of course. Now, Rainbow Six Madagascar sitting in 19th. They need at least 18 points to secure themselves a decent position, of course, to ensure that they earn points higher than what Young Thunder is currently sitting on. So it is going to be quite the challenge up ahead of them. So the ideal target there would be to get, you know, just above Young Thunder, to get into that 15th position. And of course, then, you know, the same thing for Not Gaming. They've brought in what they needed to do in the previous match to get a halfway there, all right? Now, they still need to bring home an additional potential 14 points, right? So it's not too much of a challenge for them if they again finish in the 4th position with a potential 6 kills. You know, that could see them finding those points, securing themselves that position. But of course, if we look over towards the players there from Black Clover, they are 11 points away, all right? So for them, same thing, 4th position, but with 3 kills. So anything from 4th or higher, bringing in a decent amount of kills, could see the teams qualify in. But of course, if they pull another move like we just saw come in there from Not Gaming, securing themselves that 2nd position, they still need to ensure that they have a very decent amount of kills to accompany that. Otherwise, it might be the end there, and their hopes and dreams of moving into the final might come down to a bit of a crash right then and there. So yeah, a lot of pressure. So these are the 3 teams I'm going to be focusing on as we move into this final match. Black Clover, Not Gaming, as well as Rainbow Six Madagascar.
Yeah, certainly the teams that I'm also going to be keeping an eye on. I think everyone is going to be very closely watching to see if they're going to be able to make it across that line. It is going to be a tough time, but here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, it is map number 3. It is Miramar, and we are heading straight into the games. The flight path looking nice and clean for the rest of the teams. They're going to be able to make their way down into wherever they would like to go. The real crux of the matter is going to be where on Earth that zone is going to land, or at least where on Miramar that zone is going to land. We'll have a look and see, and we will wait. We will watch. We will see if Rainbow Six and the Black Clovers can make this happen. Can they get themselves out of the spot? Not gaming. Also, lots of work to do. We will wait and see. Anything can happen on this map. Some crazy things have indeed happened on this map. We'll see if the teams have what it takes to make that final push. Not gaming. It would be so tragic if they were not able to make it up out of relegation after the work that they have put in on these last 3 games, the work they've put in this evening. Man, oh man, if they can just make it up, if they can just repeat some of the success they've had in these last 2 games, even just a smidgen of it, they might just be able to make it happen.
There's another team. If we look at the map, for instance, and we look at the points, right? Fear, the team who we see all the way up in towards Torre Ahumada there. They also have a chance, right? They have a chance. If we're honest, they do have a chance, but they need 27 points. Finding 27 points in one game, yes, it is possible, but the likelihood of that happening, it's very, very slim, right? I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying they can't do it. It's just based on what we've seen from them in past games. I don't know if they would be able to get it done in this final game. I mean, they're going to have to play one of the best games they've played so far in Umzansi to try and secure that position. But of course now, as we look on towards Not Gaming, they are here to prove themselves. They are here to prove that they've got what it takes to secure themselves that slot in the finals. And they are going to be bringing a game, their B game, they get everybody else's game. And it's this final, we really see them starting off with quite a bit of aggression in towards the lovely El Pozo right here. So we look to see whether or not they can continue with that roll, build that momentum. I mean, who knows? Maybe Fear could still surprise us, Patchy. They would, of course, need to bring in at least, that chicken dinner with 12 kills alongside that.
Yeah, that's a huge ask, and I'm honestly not sure if that's possible. I mean, Fear, they have done some good things in the past, but enough to make a chicken dinner plus a considerable number of kills happen right here in this last game? I don't know. Seems like a bit of a big ask. Now, we did see somebody getting run over in the kill feed, so we're already beginning the shenanigans here in game number 3. Hopefully they do not end. I like to see the shenanigans. Right here we've got Not Gaming. Team of the hour, the team that needs to do just enough, the team that needs to find themselves a couple of points, a couple of kills, a couple of placements. Man, oh man, we're going to be keeping a close eye on them. As you can see on that map, most of the teams sitting nice and snug inside that zone. Only a couple of them on the outside. Link's going to get taken down, so Zeus already picking up a kill for Not Gaming. A much needed point to add to their ledger as they slowly but surely make their way to the end game, to the goal of getting over that finish line and into the next round of the Umzansi Esports League, into the finals, where the absolute cream of the crop will be competing for that ultimate victory and the insane prize pool that we have here for this season. What an intense season it has indeed been. We have seen some teams rising from out of seemingly nowhere. The likes of, for instance, Pain Africa, like I mentioned yesterday, a team I did not expect to be making it up towards the top, but a team that is currently sitting very, very high up those leaderboards. If I'm not mistaken, they're sitting up in at least top 4 at the moment, which is quite impressive coming out from them. And we've seen similar things all over the show, of course. We'll have a look and see if Not Gaming is able to find a little bit of that success, draw on a little bit of that success to find some of their own magic to get across that line. I think it was 14 points was the cutoff point, if I'm not mistaken, there, DK. So we'll keep an eye. They've got 2 kills, 2 out of 14.
Yeah. I mean, you were talking about the cream on the crop, but we need the cherry on top as well, Patchy. That is what we need to see coming into this one. And of course, now Miyagi just there to remind Zeus that he is not completely alone. There is still a team right here. And of course, Ultra 6 could be ending the hopes and dreams of the team here from Not Gaming if they continue with the aggression. So a lot of pressure now on the side here for Not Gaming as they react very, very quickly, come rushing in, looking to apply the pressure onto the players, of course, now here from Ultra 6. But Ultra 6, they are in a very comfortable position on that leaderboard, so they can afford, to have a little bit of a less desirable result, but it is up to No Braino, and it could then maybe be a clutch coming in for Not Gaming. Yes, sorry, Bob. They step up. They find the kills and, of course, get the squad by 4 kills to their name. They only need 10 points more. That is all they need. So at least a second place. But of course, they can make that up with kills as well as those placement points. So a little bit of pressure. And I did see someone asking, why is it 14 and not 12? The aim is to beat Young Thunder. All right, you want to place higher than the team from Young Thunder. Those Young Thunder and Scincerity are the two teams stopping the players on that third page from getting up in towards promotion. So that is the target. That is the goal to reach, the teams to beat. Speaking of teams to beat, we see Fear and Rainbow Six, of course, now still positioned up in towards that northeastern portion of the zone. It is going to be a very tough positional play for them, but ideally we would like to see both these teams getting their butts in zone instead of fighting it out with each other. But of course, now Rainbow Six, if they continue on this effort, they will also then crush the hopes of the team from Fear. I mean, it is very unlikely to see Fear, pull a chicken dinner with a crazy amount of kills, but it's still possible. Whether it's going to happen now, I don't know, Betchy. I honestly don't know, but it is going to be quite a bit of a fight.
Yeah. Certainly not impossible just yet, although Rainbow Six might just be coming to end their hopes and dreams right here, right now. That blue zone is moving up, making it a little bit difficult to move forward. Fear, ready to receive the push, but is Rainbow Six going to be capable enough to take the fight? Both of these teams finding themselves engulfed in that blue is going to make things just that much more difficult. Prime, right up here, waiting for somebody to make a mistake. The damage has been done to a couple of players from Fear. Chris juicing himself up to get ready for this oncoming fight. But they're going to have to be a lot more capable than just keeping themselves alive. So there goes King. That's already one member taken away from Fear, and that's one member that, Fear don't really have to lose at this point. I mean, to put on such a show, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do it now. Player by player, if they lose at this point, it's basically done and dusted for them. The final nail will be hammered in the coffin. That's what we're about to find out. Here come the shots. Chris does go down, and that's just about sealed the deal. Fear, having lost 2 of their 4 players, means that they are basically down and out of this one. The chances for them to take a chicken, the chances for them to take a win, the chances for them to get out of that relegation zone almost completely diminished at this point. 2 players remaining, but Rainbow Six are not done just yet. They are not finished. They are ready to absolutely hammer the last 2 players from Fear. Here comes Swags to try to put the shots in. He will find one. In the meantime, Chris gets taken down by a great nade, and up come Rainbow Six to put the final kills in, but the spray from Swags is too much to handle. Down they go. Swags, very low on HP, has to find so much right here. Maybe putting himself back up to health. He needs to be careful. He needs to find those last few kills. Up comes the last player, Stone, going to be absolutely trying to hammer away, but there come the shots. Swag still able to stay alive. Chris going to die in the blue, but Swags is still alive, and he's done what the work necessary to put a Rainbow Six on the back foot. Shoto now very low on HP, but Swags is going hunting. He's going looking for that last player. Shoto now with the high ground, going to be using that UMP to try and finally nail the last nail in the coffin, but is it going to happen? Straight back at you. We're about to find out. Shoto about to go down to the blue, and this is basically just about harassment at this point. Send Fear back. Dash their hopes and dreams. Rainbow Six not even bothering to try and get the points for themselves. They tried, they did not succeed, and now they will pay the price by getting taken out and sent back to the lobby. Swags will survive and keep the hopes and dreams of Fear alive. But certainly, I think those hopes and dreams are misplaced, because for Fear to take a chicken dinner now, plus an insane amount of kills, would be absolutely nothing short of complete insanity.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't over till it's over. It's definitely over for Rainbow Six, all right? They are down and out. We won't see them move up that leaderboard, so they finished up in 19th place. Depending on what Fear brings, we'll see maybe if there's going to be a change up between the position of Fear and Rainbow Six, but it is going to still be quite a bit of a challenge for our remaining player there, Swags, to make that stand, to make that push, and to secure that position. But now we see the players here from the Natural Killers are looking to bring in their very own bit of aggression. Again, I don't want to say they have a chance, but I mean, who knows, Patchy? Who knows? They did come into this match sitting on 97, so realistically, if they want to secure that point, it's going to require about 27 points, right? 27, 28 points, okay? Again, it is still a number that is acquirable, right? Is it likely to happen? Not that much. They're gonna have to bring in next level plays to accomplish that. So, I mean, we'll remain hopeful, but we also need to be realistic all at the same time. So, who knows? Maybe they surprise us with a, you know, an absolutely insane boss tier, boss level, big brain, mastermind play. Who knows? Who knows? But I mean, oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
It is pretty insane, DK. It is. And of course, this match right here to end things off for this round is going to be quite the thing to witness. A lot riding on this, lots of teams having their hopes and dreams dashed on the rocks, sent out into the relegation. But I'll tell you whose hopes and dreams are still alive. It's Not Gaming. They're all the way in the West, and they are uncontested for the time being after having defeated their opponents very recently. Of course, that zone moving in once again, heading very central in that playable area. The rest of the teams pretty much towards the east of that zone. So Not Gaming, they have a free entry, a free pass inside the zone for the time being. All the other teams, though, they're going to have to fight it out, and indeed, they're doing just that. In fact, Not Gaming gonna get a +1 in the form of a very nice AWP there, and a level 3 drop, so that is going to be nice and juicy for them. Angel gonna pick that one up, and hopefully give Not Gaming that much more of a chance. They still have 10 points to put on the board, but whether that's going to come from kills or whether that's going to come from placements or a combination of the two, which is more likely, they are going to have to make something happen. Gun going to put some shots into Natural Killers. Osiris goes down. The Natural Killers, of course, losing every opportunity that they have been given here. Not really able to make anything happen with it. And it's been the same case for the entirety of the season, unfortunately. You know, we did want to see a little bit more out of them, and it will be sad to see them go, but maybe we'll see them back in the next season. Who knows? Gun certainly just making everyone's life difficult. These guys sitting at the top of the log, just here to lay down the law, just here to remind you that you cannot take anything for free. They're just going to be harassing the surrounding teams, of which there are quite a few in the area. Natural Killers rotating off to the side. They are surrounded by 3 other teams, so they are slap bang in the middle of a triangle of doom here. Could potentially be a bit of a problem for them. We still have 14 teams and 49 players left on the board here. Nova putting some shots away with that SKS, just tapping away to put the damage across. We are going to wait and see where the next fight breaks out in earnest. Neon goes down to Python as the Immortalz putting a couple of those long-range shots in here. And here's Darkness with that Mini 14 looking down onto the prey. Just up ahead of him, Zero putting the shots into NFxUnique. There's Zist, he goes down. And things are slowly turning up as we head in from Zone 3 to Zone 4. We are still waiting to see what is going to happen in this game.
I mean, dude, this is going to be an absolutely insane play. And of course, also Black Clover still in the running. We see them now pushing up from the south. They have 4KT up ahead of them. We also have the players there from Not Gaming coming in still from the western side, looking to push into that open section in the zone. It is looking pretty good for them, and their hopes and chances potentially to secure a good position. But of course, Black Clover coming in from the south, it is going to be quite the challenging play, especially if they get spotted out by the side there of 4KT. And I mean, oh, Batchy, it is going to be absolutely crazy with the zone now shifting even further up on towards the north. We see the players here from the Immortalz now just rushing up in and towards the zone. Python taking quite a bit of a beating there as they make their approach. But of course now Rain from Hell also taking a beating of their very own. Madara and the remainder of the team now looking to hold on. Jin and Madara, the two hopefuls there, as we see Shylock and Neon, of course, both getting knocked on down. Now the Immortalz are looking to apply the pressure, looking to show the dominance there. We see NFxUnique also putting a quickly shot up in towards Gun, but Nerf responding very quickly. Now the Immortalz are still trying to push in on towards the side here of Rain, looking to see whether they can close this up, but it's going to be a very tough fight either way it swings. Now we have the nades coming in there from Jeff, of course, picking up the damage. The hood onto Neon. Is that the opening he was looking for? They come rushing straight on in, putting the hood up. Shylock now looking to move in as Jin goes down. Shylock is the last remaining hopeful for the Rain from Hell team. Will they finish this one off in style? So far, it looks like they're really trying their utmost best to finish off well. And what a game it has been. The fate, of course, sealed there for Rain from Hell. They finish off as they move up in towards that relegation section. The Immortalz still live to fight yet another zone, but a pretty valiant effort coming in there from Rain from Hell, still holding their honor all the way through into their final few shots. But of course now we see the players here from Not Gaming keeping a very watchful eye on that zone, already sitting on 5 kills so far. Pretty good start for them. Jagger now getting knocked out as well, and it's up to Angel and Snorra now to move in and secure their numbers. But it is going to be once again quite a bit of a challenge here, as we do have that blue zone closing in, so they can't waste too much time. They need to act quickly, and they need to act on a very calculated, or in a very calculated manner.
Yeah, they've got a lot of work to do, and with 4KT trying to spy out those long-range shots on towards them, they do need to be very careful about how they approach it. In the meantime, Gun taking on Pain in the distance. He has Not Gaming. They're putting themselves in a pretty good position. They have been in a pretty good position all game along, not really being challenged after that first initial challenge up in the east there, or the west, sorry. Other than that, they have been pretty okay, keeping themselves alive and getting themselves into the zone. Most of the congestion has been off towards the west. Not Gaming taking a little bit of damage now as Sunny puts the shots into Snurra. Jaeger going to get exploded there by the Euphoric gods. Eri putting some shots in there. Angel getting hit by the vehicle, which explodes there. And that's a little bit unfortunate mess up of the words there. We are at our top 10 teams, 31 players left alive. Not Gaming still alive, but one of their players is down. Angel is the only one left alive. And is this the hopes and dreams of the Not Gaming squad about to die? Well, Snurra is about to die, and Angel, the last one left. This might be the tragic ending of Not Gaming right here, as they are getting hunted by these teams. Euphoric gods ready to take them out.
The only thing left there for Angel to do is just hang on for dear life. Yeah. Just hang on. Just stay in the game. That is it. I mean, they came in with 21 points. They need a minimum of 33 points. Not 32. Minimum of 33 points. So that means they, of course, 133 points. My bad. All right. So that means they needed a total of 12. They've already been able to secure 5. Okay. 4th place is the goal. 4th place for Not Gaming. That is what they need to aim for. All right, that would bring them 13 points, which would then, of course, secure them that position. It is going to be absolutely nerve-wracking to see what will happen. But, of course, now we have the players here from Lag also now looking to apply a slight tad bit of pressure for 4KT. 4KT, of course, making a very aggressive push for that first page. They want to finish off strong. They want to make it all the way from the bottom of the last page to that first page. And with the aggression they are bringing in onto the side here of Lack, it could maybe be something. We could see them pull off in this final game of the day here. But again, it is going to be a very, very tall order. They, of course, need about 8 points, 8 or 9 points to move into that next page. So it is going to be quite a bit of a hairy fight. And, of course, the gun team now also stepping up with a few hits of their own, sending it all the way across the zone. Angel now looking to get up in towards zone, just surfing the edge. Come on, Angel. 4 more slots to fight through. Just stay alive. Just make it through. Just make it in. Come on. This is the most important run we've ever seen. But Angel doesn't have any meds left.
Oh, no.
I'm hoping there's some meds there. No, it is going to be the end. No!
Oh, Angel, no. Running out of meds. Running out of time. The hopes and dreams of not gaming die in such a fashion as that. Oh, what sadness indeed. We were all hoping for the miracle run, but it was not destined to be. And now we move in. Top 7 teams, 18 players remaining. 4KT moving up towards Gun, trying to put the fight to them. Can you challenge Gun? I'm not too sure if that's even possible. The shots coming through. Lefuwent going down. Nerfme also hitting the deck. Tamer puts those shots in. Up he comes to try and finish the job, but he's got quite a task ahead of him. The rest of the gun team ready to receive. Hiding in the bush. Out they jump. Aimer is quick enough to pull the trigger. Flex does take Plaza down, but up they come and they get the rest of the thirsts, and Gun will be eliminated as 4KT continue to show their prowess with being able to do some insane things in this game. As I mentioned, I am looking forward to seeing the 4KT performance in the final round, but of course, for the time being, we'll turn our attention towards the Euphoric Gods as Myth takes quite a bit of damage there, dancing around to try and stay alive as that zone has shifted up and moved down in towards the south. 6 teams remaining, 13 players left alive. Some teams having to make that rotate down from the north into the safe zone. Nades getting tossed in towards the Euphoric Gods. Nothing landing just yet. The Immortalz trying to stop the halt, or trying to halt the progression, should I say, of the Euphoric Gods right up here. But both of these teams need to move across that line. Both of them are outside of the zone for the time being, and in 3 seconds, or 5 seconds, should I say, they're about to get a little bit of pressure put on them by that blue. Immortalz putting some good shots there. Jeff landing them in. Eamon gonna go down as 4KT continue to put up the pressure as they do. Immortalz are going to have to fight their way out of this situation as the Euphoric Gods are just waiting for them to rush out of that building. The smokes are getting popped to obscure the vision and hopefully give them a chance making the rotate. But there go the Euphoric Gods pushing up in across that line, trying to find their hits. But they're going to have to do so much damage here. Zero Tolerance losing a couple of players here and there. Sky moving through the smoke to try and navigate his way across that line, but the Euphoric Gods are right up ahead of them. It's a fight. Can they make it happen, though? Myth is quicker on the trigger. Sky goes down, and the Immortalz get taken out. 3 teams remaining, but that's not to be for very much longer. Zero Tolerance is looking to close things out. They've got the numbers. They've got the control. They just need to move down across that line. Myth gets taken down as they put the hits in, and Zero Tolerance make the rotate necessary for KT, also looking to lay down the law. But who is going to take the chicken dinner here in the final game of this evening? Who is going to take that winner chicken dinner is the question that we are about to find out.
Well, I gotta say though, Patchy, just looking at 4KT and where they are currently, that of course means they've got 17 points so far if they were to go out right now, alright? So that means that they could potentially secure themselves a position in maybe even the top 5 of all places. So they are already, I think, pretty secure, potentially, onto that second page. Now we look to see whether or not they'll be able to close this one off. Of course, they still have to fight through the players from Zero Tolerance as well as the remaining player here from the Euphoric Gods. But maybe even Skydo could help alleviate the pressure on that. But now we see Aimer, of course, getting knocked out as they move up. 4KT goes down 17 points, going to their name. Will it be enough for them, though, to move up in towards that top 5? And now we see, of course, the Euphoric God Sunny stepping up, but it is not enough. Zero Tolerance claim the winner chicken dinner in our final match, finishing off with 5 points. The Euphoric Gods also on 5 points, but in that second place. And 4KT securing themselves 7 kills in third place. That, of course, means Euphoric Gods, they do bring themselves in a very lovely 17 points there. But Not Gaming, as we can see over in that 8th place, we know 8th place gives them 1 point, and they were able to find 5 kills. So that means they only have 6 additional points added to their score. I don't know whether or not 6 points will be enough. Looking at it, they might have only just barely moved in to 17th position. So I don't think Not Gaming is going to be making on through. I mean, if we are realistic, I don't think it's going to be a thing. But one other thing that I think definitely did happen is 4KT moving on to that first page. And I mean, you got to give it to them. Came all the way from the bottom of the leaderboard, pushing up match after match, every opportunity they had, bringing the aggression, bringing their gameplay, and just soaring up that leaderboard. So I'm quite excited to get into the finals to see what 4KT will bring to the table, and if there'll be any table shaking coming into the mix here.
Yeah, well, we have yet to find out as those scores are being finalized, and we are getting ready to see what the ultimate final word is on the placement of those teams. I think, unfortunately, you are right. I don't think Not Gaming got enough points, unfortunately. Sad but true. We always like a redemption story, but unfortunately, the Not Gaming redemption story getting cut a little bit short by a pretty decent assault by the Euphoric Gods, and the rest of the teams up in there just making it difficult to get across that line. And, of course, Angel not able to have the meds necessary to fight the blue, and ultimately succumbing to that, which is very unfortunate. Definitely some good plays coming out all across the board. We saw some great gameplay overall in these last 3 matches today, and I have to say, definitely, despite not making it up into, or out of that relegation, Not Gaming definitely has to get props for at least attempting and making a really good effort in doing so and trying to make it happen. They put up a really good showing. And the same is true for a lot of other teams that play today. They tried their best. They did some good gaming today, which is fantastic. I mean, that's all we can really ask for at the end of the day. That's what we want to see. We just want to see some really great gameplay at the end of the day. That is why we do what we do. But of course, here comes the final word on the matter. The results from this game are as follows: 20 points to Zero Tolerance Skills in place number 1. In position number 2, we have the Euphoric Gods with 17 points. In position number 3, we have Slime 4KT with 17 points. In position number 4 is the Immortalz with 14. In position number 5, it is Lag Esports with 14. In position number 6, we have Gamers Unite Nations with 13 points. In position number 7, it is Fear with 7 points. And in number 8, it's Not Gaming with 6 points. So as I said, lots and lots of trying went in there for Not Gaming, but just not enough to make it happen. NFxUnique going to be taking up place number 9 with 3, as well as Rainbow 6, Madagascar with 3 points in 10th place. Black Clover with 2 points in 11, Aphelion Apex with 1 in 12, Natural Killers also with 1 point in 13, Rain from Hell with 1 point in 14, and Ultra 6 with 1 point in 15th position. Pain Africa coming away with none in 16th position. And that is the end of the standings for that game. Those reflections, of course, coming through to the ultimate leaderboard, and here they are, the finality of the overall standings. Gamers Unite Nations, 321 points in position number 1, crossing a serious boundary over 300 points. Undisputed AE in position number 2 with 288 points. Pain Africa coming in third place with 247. G3 Temper in 4th with 235. Zero Tolerance Skills in 5th place with 226. In 6th place, we've got the Immortalz with 223. Ultra 6 in 7th position with 213, as well as Lag Esports with 213 in 8th position. So really good showing from them to make it up onto page number 1. Moving on to page number 2, Slime for KT going to be heading this one up in 9th position with 212. In 10th, we have Influence Rage Africa with 211. In 11th position, we have BBC with 203 points. In 12th, we have Aphelion Apex with 188. In 13th position, we have NFxUnique with 185 points. In 14th, we have the Euphoric Gods, who have made their way out of relegation, 155 points. The Young Thundercats maintaining their spot outside of that relegation with 134 points in 15th position. And Scincerity also keeping their place outside of relegation with 132 in 16 points. And that's where the good news ends, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, because this is the relegation. This is the list of teams who did not make it, and Not Gaming just making it to the top of that list, barely not getting across that finish line. Heartbreaking to see, but there it is, 127 points in 17th place. In 18th, we have Black Clover with 126, Rainbow Six in 19 with 120, Fear in 20 with 112, Natural Killers in 21 with 98, Rain from Hell in 22 with 83, as well as the Comfy Cartel with 83 in 23, and the Drogons in 24 with 32 points. Man, oh man, what a day of gaming it has been.
Yeah, it hurts almost, Patchy, just looking at it. But, you know, we got to give it to the Euphoric Gods for making it out of that promotion relegation, you know, section. Absolutely phenomenal effort coming in there from them. Beautifully played. And, of course, Slime 4KT missing out on that first page with 1 point. 1. I mean, how close do you want it? Even looking at that 8th and 7th position, they are both tied on exactly the same amount of points. 213. Absolutely insane stuff. But we got to give it to the teams that we were looking to push up into that second page, of course, being Black Clovers, Not Gaming, and Rainbow Six Madagascar. A really, really valiant effort coming in there from them. Of course, the efforts from Not Gaming standing out the most there, as they've made the biggest improvement in their standings here today. But also, I'm pretty sure that Young Thunder and Scincerity are breathing a big sigh of relief. You know, like, I think they were particularly stressed looking at, you know, just the sheer aggression coming in from those 3 teams looking to gain entry into that promotional section. So, yeah, beautifully done, beautifully played. And, of course, now we're going to be heading up into the finals. We know who have made it in, and the stress starts all over again. The score sheets are going back to 0, and this is where it all comes down to. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited to see it.
Yeah, and with that said and done, that is the end of this round. As you said, DK, we're heading into the finals, so stay tuned and make sure you keep an eye on all the Nodwin socials to make sure you know what's going on and when those finals are going down. But with that, it is time to end. So thank you so much, guys, for sticking with us. Thank you so much for watching, and we are heading out. We will see you again in the next one. Cheers and peace.